Let's see if we actually will get it. There's our map picks.
Okay.
And it's Haven, Icebox, and a Breeze to round it all out.
Wow.
With Haven picked by FPX. Defense start for Ascend.
Very
Your thoughts
different.
overall, Jess?
A very different. We said we didn't want to see, the map last time was Bind, Breeze, and Split. We only get one of those three maps, and we won't have the replication. We get Haven, which we haven't seen today, and Icebox as well. Ooh.
We haven't seen Ascend play Haven for weeks. I think it was like week 5 of Stage 1, like against BBL. It has been, we've not seen a new squad. For one, and like from what we saw from FPX up against Liquid, it was a good performance, mechanically good. Like there were a lot of clutch ability moments. Zipan played really well, but for Ascend, I think this is FPX going, go on then, show us what you can do with this new roster. What have you got prepared? Because we're comfortable here.
It's so funny that you say that because I instantly brought up the stats and I was like, okay, you're saying Ascend hasn't played it for a while, but the last 2 times they played it, BBL slapped them 13-6 on it. And then before that, this is all the way back in, what was it, January, March? Then Fnatic 13-4'd them. So if you go just on history alone, not a good map for Ascend.
It was one of the maps that Ascend lost against BBL to stop them getting from playoffs last time. It would be one of the maps that get them out of playoffs as one of the first teams to be leaving, right? So Ascend's comp is going to be fairly fresh, everything sort of new, and Xiao, yeah, still over on the silver. Was he on the fade before?
He was, because we had him as like one of the best fades against Enzo, etc. So he's gone off that a little bit, but that's kind of what FPX has been pushing towards at the moment.
Back on it though is going to be good, Star. So on that raise, as we've been saying, Zeke on Breach is interesting. Like, I even think like Monster on the Omen is just like, it's a thought-provoking lineup, I think, for Ascend. Nothing too out there. It makes sense overall. But CNED versus Hardis over in that chamber battle, like we keep highlighting the up players, but these were star players that have helped get these squads to the podiums a lot of the time. Now would be a great chance to show up and lead the line.
Oh, I don't know what to expect on this. I mean, you have to give a clean slate to Ascend on this map because it's a new composition. It's brand new months. We've gone months and months beyond what we even have between BBL and their Fnatic match on this. Yeah. So I kind of think we have unknown territory here.
Yeah. One thing for FPX, they can't keep losing ecos. They just cannot. We saw a clean game from Neck and Liquid. Like, I think there was one eco that was dropped from Icebox, but that was it. Like, FPX need to be a bit cleaner.
Let's see if FPX can start it off then properly. Ascend and FPX begins. We're going to go to map 1 in this series. It's do or die. If you lose in this series, it is all over. And we got other casters ready for it. X-Warrior and Zasht. Enjoy.
The champions of 2021 and the undisputed best team of Stage 1 this year up against each other, lower bracket run with everything to prove, Zesht.
It's going to be quite exciting. You know, FPX and Ascend already met not too long ago. They're going to do that again, and it's quite exciting to see who's coming out of that as a victor. So I would say, let's take a look at those teams once more.
The time has come to see these two teams take on each other. Ascend versus FPX, a very much anticipated matchup in the lower bracket with everything to do, starting things off on Haven.
Oh, there's some quite exciting changes there. A Zeke on a Breach, haven't seen that for a while, I can tell you that. That makes it quite interesting. And as Ryan said on the desk, Ascend didn't play this map for quite a while for a reason. They didn't like this map so much, if I'm not totally in the wrong. And I'm very convinced that they were just not feeling too comfortable on. So with FPX now seeing them on here, what some of the attack side executes they've delivered yesterday, goodness, that was nice to watch. So I would say, Pavlos, let's see what the Pistol has to deliver.
This could definitely be playing up against FPX's prep, right? Not really anticipating a bind pick straight out of the bat as well. I mean, anticipating perhaps a bind pick, but Haven also coming into the equation now, switching up the scenario for them. FPX now on the attacking, looking to maneuver towards this A site. There's a good response by Ascend, dedicating 3 players. But it's going to be a little bit of a standstill over into sewers as they start to trickle inward. Shower will be getting the Shreed as a cross comes forth. A Monster with the first pick. Shower calls down to the open, so he gets to quickly traitors and heals himself back up. Zipan also there to assist. Onto the site they go, and Starkso needs to start performing quickly, otherwise he may get pincered in. He's got reinforcements coming his way, but it seems that there's some sort of pivoting to happen here from FPX as the spikes start to move away from this A site.
Yeah, you know, the artists tried to be like, keep their attention A, keep their attention A, I need that lurk, but it didn't happen. Starkster has been heard, Angel has a bit of information, and with 30 seconds left on the clock, it seems like there's one clear objective for the side of FPX. At least it looked like for a second they might just consider going B, but With the positioning we see from Angel, him leading the charge and having one more smoke left, A is the destination that we're aiming for. And they'll go on the side very soon.
Yeah, rotation. Very close to this 10 seconds. Can't afford to be denied the bomb plant. And that is STAGE2 getting it down first. Down to 2-on-3. Surigetsu, quick back at it. Now, down to a duel, but no time to get that plant down. All CNED has to do is just stand and wait. Smile and wave.
I didn't know ACEND is actually consisting of penguins, but you say it, right? It worked out quite decently.
Smile and wave, boys.
Smile and wave. You say it. I mean, to quickly catch up on that composition, right? That, unfortunately, there's not much time on the desk to talk about the agent selects. It is quite interesting to see a monster, for example, on an Omen as well, as it's not his typical controller of choice. Would be, you know, Viper if we take any, but he's on the Omen for that one. And it's quite exciting to see. I think with the Fade, you do many things right. I mean, the changes also on the side of ACEND. The part, yeah, of FPX is kind of interesting because it really fits with the idea of FPX. We constantly switch our composition a slight bit, so we're not that predictable. The big one, obviously, Fate on Xiao is now something called Soba. Very unusual, but we'll see how that one's going to pan out. As this forest here, Pavlos is bringing CNED a classic long-range kill with his little headhunter.
Does really love hunting heads with that gun.
Yeah, and I think it is very interesting that they have had it on the desk as well, the different statistics of CNED. So let's see if that's going to play a role in that game.
And we're seeing ACEND now with different roles as well. CNED now pretty much only playing on this chamber. A lot of thoughts around whether it's actually an idea that is working for ACEND, but it's definitely doing wonders for them. They've made playoffs. That's better than stage one. Some movement here from Artis, some movement that could have potentially given them a kill, but that's as flawless as around as it can go for ACEND, not dropping a single player or taking any damage either.
Yeah, let's see how this one goes, though. FPX is now buying up and getting those rifles ready. And it's really exciting to see if this is one of those maps where an FPX who are so much in love with their preparation, right? FPX know exactly very often what their opponent do, and this is what the group stage is so beneficial about, because you have 1 week time to prepare exactly what your opponent is doing. But this seems like a very clear set piece. Outside of Garage, they might go to easily deny their opponent some control.
Yeah, fault line shot out of the bat, together with the C's. But it's the C-long position that they're looking to take after. ACEND are responding fairly quickly to this. There's a one-sided smoke to assist them in that effort. Prowler taken out of the equation, so it definitely gives away the information. But it's whether they stick to the position or not. ACEND will just have to dedicate that extra player there for a little bit longer, but it seems a wraparound will still commence from FPX towards the right side.
ACEND so far, the only real aggressive tool they have that would be CNED over there.
Ooh.
He can't TP in time. Angel gets him down and feels like this is going to be fast. This is directly hitting the A site, and that's what they'll do.
It was the only defender of this A site, right? So clearly this has opened up. That cover now falling through, both on Heaven and on the defensive spawn position. Now they can just move in, get that spike down without too many issues. That wall comes in straight on time because now the dash comes in from Starks over the double blast pack, but he's got no reinforcements. Gets one kill, quickly shut down. Now FPX can compose themselves.
Quite chaotic is probably the best description for it, but it seems near impossible here for Vec as well, Zeke, to do anything. There's one flash left onto Zeke to really open anything up. He's already down, and Vac should be falling any second soon. FPX get the first.
Very well played from FPX, knowing where to focus, and yeah, there was nothing much ACEND could do in that instance.
And the interesting part is that FPX instantly reads it, right? Again, there is no what to work with on the side of FPX. It's not like, okay, this is where CNED stands, equals A side is clear. They instantly took it and be like, you know what, we have an advantage, we gotta go into it immediately. But I believe that's not going to happen again in this round, because this is where the real rifles come out for ACEND, this is where the big guns are going to be used. And so far, I'm very curious to see how the proactive map control goes. Just take a look at it. CNED goes very aggressively A long, there's been a Prowler for C long. There's a bit of information very early on from ACEND that they can play with, but B site, FPX love it.
Ooh, they do. Now into it. Zipan, first blood, B-site control, that covers to the ends, but the Horde comes in straight away. That means they were looking to move in. Prowler as well, Angel's still alive, and Starkso wants to move in from the other side. Patials definitely need to find a kill onto Angel. That's the opener you need, but Zipan now, desperate measures, call for desperate guns, showstopper shown, and all of a sudden, Spike is on the other side of the wall, with Ascend having less of the players. Monster finds an opening. And now they've equalized, they've stabilized. And FPX used the Aldrin to gain the info, but really need to break this wall to get the spike. They've actually gained it. And they're not really committing to the B site.
Yeah, and it's the only logical thing, right? At least for the moment, they don't hope that anyone is peeking out of the B site any second soon, but here it comes. Monster goes deep in C, so that one is out, right? This is not going to happen, which gives CNET a lot of opportunities with his moves.
Oh.
Timing's not going to be on.
No, but at least by process of elimination, he can tell his teammate, stay in that A site.
He's still checking a bit on mid.
Wants to make
He's not.
sure.
He didn't see them, so he doesn't believe it's going to be A necessarily.
He has to eliminate all positions, right? And it's all down to Cena to give out that call
There he
by the
goes.
end of things. First shot, Headhunter delivered for the second.
Aloy
Some
is-
damage connected. Shao is so miserably low. But it's the operator to kill him. Doesn't matter if you've got the biggest caliber in the game. You'd shoot him down anyway.
You love to see it, don't you? That right here, I mean, this was, again, a Sippin' masterclass. By the way, he doesn't hear anything, so he basically plays without headphones. Knows that Vax ult came from the left-hand side of C connector. Bam, showstopper in. And that's a solid start. Again, swapping up the default as well, right? From what we have seen where CNET starts to play, now he's moving over, goes from A to C. It might just take out a lot of room permanently. You see it right there. He does not directly follow the Seeker as he places down his teleport, but now, see long, all the property of CNET.
FPX looking to slow down this pace a little bit. TP over Monster. Didn't have a chance to react to that. Awesome Guardian shot there from Zip and Stark. So looking to equalize though. Now they can stay composed that they're not pushing just yet.
The question is, how much will Starkso get at this point in time? Now he gains the information, goes for his ult.
No way!
Oh.
Wow. Shower's lightning fast.
Yep. For a very good reason. But this is very nice to see, because Ascend do not remain passive. Instantly take room again.
Looks a little bit desperate, to be fair. But if it comes out to work for them, why not? Now they've equalized, but need to be careful of the other extremity. That is Zeke delivering once again.
no
Shower
way.
looking to trade him now down to a 2-on-2.
They don't know about Vac.
And that is why Vac will come out alive.
Oh!
Getting a double as well. What a beauty by Vac.
That's wonderful to see, right? He baits them in and being like, you know what? I'm the only one who's holding you up. And there's not one single shot from Vac the entire time. He's not supporting it. There's not this distinction in the ear of FPX of like, there's another one. I heard him, I saw him. That can be awkward, we know it, but clean and easy from Vac. The man who's so versatile with the Age on Ascend. He's not only IGLing, he's flexing as much as possible. And again, a default change from Ascent. You see, you suddenly seen it as somewhere else.
You want to see the newest editions of Ascend just doing the big hitting, and it was both Monster and Vac just moving in together, right?
Absolutely.
Incredible.
And I mean, what we've seen in the game what we've seen with FPX already is they very much enjoy, and that you saw against Liquid, their A side takes, right? They really avoid C as much as possible. Mainly it's B, mainly it's A. Those are the two spots they really favor. And it could be very much Ascent preparing for that. We've seen it taking out Xiao. Another one off. It is possibly a 5-1 lead.
Oh, this is looking like a very strong Ascent right now. Winning their duels, getting the reads, all pieces of that puzzle are just working out. And the
going for
biggest
it?
piece
What?
is CNED!
Spike down A.
You might as well form an entire picture with a puzzle piece of CNED. You don't need anybody else. He completes a whole team.
Oh, thank you, thank you. You are too kind.
You love this guy for just doing that, right? Absolute CNET masterclass by the damn book.
Buy down to your king.
I mean, listen, this is sure just not the best spy from FPX, but
Obviously not.
mechanically speaking,
That was insane!
it was. It very much was. And
I love the operator switch to Headhunter straight away. That was...
I thought he was done at this point. I thought he was done. And here comes the timeout. Usually very useful from the FPX side with, as mentioned on the desk as well, the likes of Doombrush or Angel really calming down the team and inspiring them with new ideas. It is time to get something going. Remember, the one round they've got was the entry on CNET in a bonus of ACEND, and they directly pushed A. Ever since, more calm, more slow, more evolving around how much control can we gain. But ACEND have never allowed that because they're very proactive in what they do. For example, when you remember the VAC, the 2K that VAC got, it could have been also then be very passively remaining on site and be like, we have a man equalized scenario, there's no need to over-aggress. But they haven't done it. But so, again, a bit more C-focused this time around, right? Not what we've witnessed so often. But here comes a Seeker, here comes a Dart, and there's one player directly keen to find more, but Cena's like, no chance, son.
Pushed out on A the previous round, he'll push out on C this time around. Cena keeps on giving. The rest of the team has fallen flat though, which means he needs to do the heavy lifting. They're really troubled. I don't know if they want to push in, but he might be reading it on time. Oh, his brain is massive, but his hands can't keep up with him.
Oh, Starks has such a good discipline in this, but there he goes.
Zeke as well.
Yeah, another nade following. You can't pick up the spike.
Deny that opportunity, and now FPX in trouble. Monster from the back end as well, putting pressure onto them. Oh, they're winning out on every single one of these trades.
Oh.
It's looking perfect from FPX. They're back and somehow turning it around.
You once consider going C? It works. A quick garage split that we saw. It was a millisecond decision and that didn't get seen at the kill, but it was entering up well.
I'm not gonna lie.
Sail me.
I should have given that round a lot more hype because it seemed like FPX lost it.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't, it was because I was so confused that it was FPX that actually got the kills and not ACEND.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. It looked very possible in the end. And most importantly, right, if Zeke would have gotten that one kill in that round, he would have now had that ult. Again, seen it with an opening, Zippin is out, but they decide once more to rather consider that push. Uh-oh,
no
it's
way.
ugly.
Oh.
Come on.
He gets it through the wall.
What is this?
I don't know. And now we're looking at Artis, looking to hold this position for his team because let's be frank, FPX have gained no other space apart from Garage. They're still down in numbers, still down their controller.
Yep.
Their entry.
And here is still the thing, right? Zeke has not used his ult. So, he's dead this round, but we know a Rolling Thunder is the master key to retakes on this map. But that doesn't matter in round number 8. FPX still prodding and contacting up A, and there are reinforcements arriving. That reinforcement is called CNET and Starkso.
Yeah, ACEND have really got a good read on this.
There you go.
As soon as they spot out Shao, there you go. CNET delivering. Once again, they're looking to enter, but it's just too darn deadly. Wherever they go, they get greeted by hot lead. And there you go again. Artis' face smashed to pieces.
Yep, and you have to listen to me right now. You have to better listen to me. CNET is someone who has played not too much, but a little bit of Chamber in the past. He did it against Guild in February and then picked it up mid-season this time. And he always had okay ratings, right? 255 ACS, 200 ACS, 233, right? Sounds okay. Sounds decent, right? But it is a CNET that can do much more. And this, for me personally, feels like one of the most comfortable CNET performances I've seen in a while.
He's loving this role.
I mean...
And he just has to put the cherry on top right after you talk to him.
Yeah.
About him.
Perfect. The man knows he's listening. But again, setting themselves up this time for B. Because this is where CNET, for example, has never played before.
Yeah, there is a trademark there that's definitely going to stop them. But and as you said, you know, if then with the numbers, Rolling Thunder, utilized, denied space. You think you're entering, let me push you right out of it with earthquakes. Monster as well on the back line, making quick work of them. This does not look like the FPX we saw in stage 1. Ascend are playing with them as if they're food.
So, with the pace right here, FUNPLUS, do you have any more plans tonight?
I didn't because I thought I'd be casting, but this game could be quicker than we ever thought.
I'm speechless. Because, you know, if we once more visit the veto, right? Ascend bans Fracture because it is their insta-ban. They don't feel comfortable in it. And if you would have asked me, I would have said, yeah, they also don't feel too comfortable on Haven. FPX, at this point, if we consider this goes this way, thought like, yep, very uncomfortable Ascend. That's going to be a snack. Surely not a snack, but easy enough. And
Angel's a snack.
I have no word. I have literally.
See,
What?
that's just gobbling people up.
What?
You want to see all these duelists transition out of the Jet meta, and they've been picking up these chambers, and CNED, I think he's been able to do it finally. Everybody's been looking
He must
forward
be
to
dead
this.
now. No.
No, he's not, because Zeke has got his back.
Guardian Angel.
Because Ascend is simply a team just built different. Aftershock to the sideline, falls down into the open, so he gets you has to fall. Shao gets a double.
Yeah.
Puts caution to the wind, but he's being greeted by a deadly Stark, so.
Listen to me.
8 already for Ascend, man. 8 already, and we're only 10 rounds in.
But we cannot only give props to CNED, because every frag he finds is enabled by something. When he pushes C-Long, always back with his little Prowler. So he's never being pushed. He's never being insecure in his attack. Right now here, he was absolutely safe by Zeke. Got his second kill due to an Aftershock being brought into Cubby. So the support, CNED could not be this good if he wouldn't be supported by his team.
No.
And this is so wonderful to watch. A different aggression, by the way. We talked about it. They have never witnessed any CNED on B. Now they know.
Up until now.
Up until now.
And Zeke has found himself a little bit of a corner to work with as well. That Boombot is bound to spot him, though. Which means he has to use his flash to get out. Doesn't. Actually sustains that position. CNED looking to cause pressure. Looking to help his teammate get out of it. Duck cover, ultra initialize, zip, and very aggressive, but CNED reads it. I mean, we're talking about a pistol buy for FPX. You don't expect all that much, but Ascend are really not respecting them right now, but maybe they should. Because Shao has just killed Vac, and that's a Phantom that could be collected by one of his teammates.
Yeah. I mean, their C-side attacks were quite decent from FPX.
What is this?
I mean, if he would have found it, I'm out. Legit, you can get anyone in. I really don't believe what I'm seeing.
If we would have hit that, I would have called hacks.
It is.
I would have asked someone to check in PC.
We're 11 rounds in, and I think he has 7 or 8 entries at this point. Consistently finding them. It's ridiculous.
Oh, Angel, be careful.
Yeah.
Oh,
See you later, mate.
see you later, alligator.
35 seconds. And if this goes on like this, I can watch Canada. But for now, it still looks possible, right? Putting it more into realistic stance, FPX can still make this work.
FPX. Oh, Monster. Turning it around, maybe not so much anymore. Oh,
Yeah,
especially when CNED is there on quick rotation. Oh, no chance, man. I mean, yes, pissed around, but come on.
Last round before the switch.
You know, I think seeing CNED on the server probably gives you the same vibe at this point when your mother, in an angry fashion, calls you by your full name. You see what I mean?
Feel like that. Yes.
Yeah, if you witness... Oh, there's CNED. And I don't know your full name, Pavlos.
I feel like I'm gonna butcher your name. I was about to say
No.
it.
You
I
don't
was
even
gonna
know my
butcher it
full
entirely.
name.
I
So.
do. Well, unless you have more names.
Yeah,
to
I have
it,
2 more
then-
first names.
Okay, well, never mind then.
Sorry, Pavlos.
You're gonna have to type them out in chat for me so I can
Oh,
say them out
absolutely
later.
not.
Why?
Whatever.
Anyway, game.
Game.
Valorant.
And Pat on
Lower bracket, by the way. And Ascend are literally toying with FPX, who, by the way, won the previous stage of VCT EMEA. Just putting some context out there for everyone. And Ascend have been a little bit AFK from the European servers the past, well, since the start of this year. But if we're able to see more of this, then I wouldn't mind it at all.
No, me neither. By the way, CNED has never used his ult so far, if I'm not totally in the wrong. Not this entire half. But Monster knows what's happening, holds it up for a moment. He's dead, but there's the reply.
It's a good start for them.
Yep.
At least Shao opens things up. Now the C position can be taken over. Flash drive, denying them the space, going for it again. They've stopped them in their tracks, and now they have to walk past this. And there's a deadly CNED awaiting for them. Oh, it's a trap, and you've just walked into
Oh,
it.
God.
Oh, Shower, you're the only one that got him kills this round.
Yep.
Will we be able to shut down CNED? The
No,
answer is a
no.
big fat no to that.
No.
A quad piece and Ascend on double digits at halftime.
Listen.
Switching sides.
Sue texted me earlier and said she's very much looking forward to my Zeshtism. So I tell you one thing. This game is as smooth as probably driving a Gullwing through the Toscana. It is insanely smooth. This is... I mean, sure, Ascent is relying a lot on the work of CNET.
So,
Spike down.
Ginger might have asked you for a Zeshtism, but I also had Sam, I should call her, Turtle Girl, asked me to make fun of Tom. So I'm going to use your Zeshtism and turn it into a burn for Tom.
Okay.
This game for Ascend is as smooth as Tom's head.
I guess. I don't know. I've never touched his head.
I mean, it looks pretty smooth.
I could ask Mitch. I'm sure he knows. Anyway, let's take a look at the Ascent's attack. Let's take a look if they make it really home and take it into 13-2 or not. It's not like they're getting overzealous. I mean, if you listen to some of the Ascent voice comms videos, you realize that they're a very momentum-driven team and they have a lot of positivity if they're winning. But they're not overzealous right now. Really taking it slow, really taking it patient. Know that they need to keep their game just as ironed out as it used to be so far. So they take all the room. They have a bit of cubby control. See if anyone of FPX takes a bit too much room. And they know that there's artists nearby, or at least one. Starks will beheads him. And they force a rotation.
Off with his head. I love that we built up in the analyst desk that this would be an artist versus CNET show. And we'd be seeing a lot of that. Something that you want to see with Chambers, but we have really seen none of that.
No.
Aldous already dies straight out of the bat from this round. Angel trying to defend it, but he got just trampled on.
True.
Spike planted.
I mean, at this point, it is not artist versus CNET. It is FPX versus CNET. Very clearly. But let's see what they can do with it. Starkstar should not have a chance to survive this, really. As he still dodges it, though. Even the mortar fire here survives. It gotta be a miracle for FPX.
Well, it ain't a miracle. I can tell you that much.
No.
But it might
Hold on.
will be. It could be. And the wall comes in as well.
It's
But
CNET.
CNET's got the right position. And if it's anyone going to do it, it's going to be CNET. It's going to be CNET. Oh, CNET.
No way.
And now with a classic. Oh, never mind. Okay. Well, FPX will be getting around.
It's really good to see that he doesn't have God mode on. It's really important to witness that. But again, yeah, it got a little tight, but what a performance by Jetsi.
Now, that was hairy.
You remember what Doombra said about it, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Silent, but violent.
Yep. And there's this classic copy-paste of, like, I don't remember whatever kill. And with Sujetsu, you don't necessarily remember his kills, right? But he has delivered and constantly been just present for FPX. He might not have those 300 ACS performances, but he's there when needed. And you might want to say this is a magic performance by Ascent, but we're not done yet, as though they have entered B.
Yeah, just like that.
That was really smart, though. The double satchel was perfect. Perfect distraction.
Yeah. Denying them the space as well with a second satchel. Angel, Artist, okay, finding their kills here. Vac with a shorty. Wall up. Now they're looking to go for the refusal, so he gets to... Yeah, he's going to have the space to do that.
there's a man
Suddenly
advantage,
instead of getting a
FPX.
lot of the kills.
And there's players also coming from Connector. Just touching you know.
Okay.
They've won it!
Oh, no way! No way!
I'm sorry, man. Listen, who sees that coming?
No one! Somebody pinch me, because simply I think I'm still sleeping. I'm dreaming.
Wonderful stuff. I mean,
That should have been a Ascend's round!
no, they do the double push through Garage, and that was nice to see. I mean, take a look at the replay here. This was all nice and dandy.
No, I see why that happened, right? Because they set it up all for mid. Like, the wall was for mid. The two players on the other side of the wall were for mid. And that just helped isolate them for Ascend.
Yeah, but the thing is, I gotta say that, Vac was known. He got the first kill of the shorty, and then continued to find kills, because the Bulldog got in his hands. It's an 11 for FUNPLUS. And Ascend is right now delivering a master class.
I could just imagine FPX being a little bit, you know, sneaking around. I just won your pistol against you. I just stole it off you. And ACEND is like, yeah, we're the ones here doing that stealing here. It's psych. Yep, exactly.
And the funny part is, right, again, ACEND, even though that in this game overall, they have won the first pistol, they didn't win the second, and still convert the following round. That's ridiculous.
Oh, Stuxo is so aggressive.
Yep, onside already.
Oh, and he's going right after the aftershock. Immaculate. Does get traded, though. Artis able to find the follow-up. Seen it very aggressive here in Garage. Finds Suri, gets through, but doesn't connect those shots. A little bit awkward.
No.
Oh, that wasn't Seen we've seen this entire game. That's a different guy.
That was his brother.
Could be. Zeke might be stepping up, though. He's the brother in arms. Paranoia. Hunter's Fury as well to be thrown onto the side. Finding a couple of attacks, but Monster and Zeke are able to line things up. And it seems to be the beginning of the end for FPX, at least for this map, which is their own map pick, by the way. Shao, his death is imminent. And of course, it's a jumping vac to put bullets right between his eyes.
Match point.
12-3. I mean, this is a simulation, man. Sure, let's revisit one thing.
Sesh, we live in a society.
Yeah, but hold on. That Haven performance yesterday was FPX bringing it into overtime and securing it there. It was not their clearest performance, particularly in the defense, the previous half. On attack, it also became a little bit problematic at one point, but it was not too clean. And ACEND is absolutely realizing what to do against them, how to make it work. Knock, knock, who's there? Zeke's hungry.
This does not even look like
it doesn't add up
right now. This just looks like matchmaking in gold, where players are either smurfing or just really bad.
Fine.
This. Oh, I don't get this.
Nah, man. I
don't get this.
It's
I don't
remarkable.
think anybody does. But for FPX, this can't feel too good. ACEND, on the other hand, they're feeling great. They're feeling grand because they've just solidified their opponent's map pick on the lower bracket. And it's just crazy because I don't think anybody coming into today was expecting this.
If you are remaining speechless, I'm fine with that. I think that's the best way. You know, if ACEND wins this, we do not really need to do 3 players for the player of the match, but we need to see if we get that far, because there is still an icebox awaiting us.
Oh, I can already say Sened. End of story. But anyway, see you guys after the break. We'll be back soon. I think everybody needs to process this one.
Welcome back, everybody. Map 1 has ended as quickly as it had begun, and what is this? What? Let's do the Hulk Hogan moment. What is that? It's Sened. He heard the trash that was being talked all over the world. He heard what was going on the desk, and the man is back in action, Ryan.
410 ACS, 23 kills across the series, 22 of them in that first defensive half. And I think there's a real nice play to sort of sum up the action, and it's just how aggressive everything was from Sened.
Wow. It was incredible, the kinds of plays. This is the one you're talking about. Round number 6.
Nico, to be fair, but yeah.
But, I mean, the ability for him to understand that once you op, you have a 0.3 sort of pull-out time there for that headhunter. That is a good fundamental of a good chamber player, and he played it to an absolute T. Positioning was on point, and he didn't balk throughout that entire ace. He went, I'm pushing, I take that kill, I take another, he had confidence in himself that I have not seen this stage.
We've never seen him play like that. Like that is, he used to do that on Jet, right?
He
Like
did.
that's why I wanted to pick up that round, because just the movement, the constant eking forward, and the threat, because we sort of saw how it looked when it came to like FPX's comp. They didn't really have much to deal with him. Like that's why Breaches played on this map a lot. So the lack of that meant the Sened was like, I can keep pushing. And that whole tempo focus, I think, really made FPX crumble.
I mean, you just got to look at that. I have to point out the 410. Xiao had a good answer here and there, but it just wasn't enough for the side of ACEND, who ran through them. Dare I say, this whole map is the very encapsulation, if I had to pick one map throughout this entire stage, or throughout this year for ACEND, as to why they are world champions, I would pick this map to display to people and say, watch this, and you'll understand why they are world champions. Yes, of course, not the full same, but I can say for an absolute fact, he might just be back.
However, I do think there's that flicker of the new aspect of Ascend, because Monster's allowed to be aggressive. Some of the plays and ideas, like mid-round calls coming in from Vac, but I mean, we saw it in the mic check earlier today, how vocal each of them are. Zeke and Starzo constantly back and forth about how to use utility. And CNED 7-1 on first kills, which it feels like it could be a hell of a lot more, but that he felt like he was constantly around the map. The rotations, the reads on FPX. FPX like to play a slower game, a bit more methodical with how they approached against Team Liquid. They weren't allowed to blink in this series because Ascend were just on them.
Wow. I'm just looking at some of these stats here. I mean, those people who were interested in the kind of stats about multi-kills, he had that ace we spoke about in round 6. He had a 4K, he had a 3K, he had 4 2Ks, he had a 1v1 clutch. Every area and box you can tick off as a player, especially one in his role, he did. However, something Zesh brought up very important there, it wasn't just the CNED show. And that's what can sometimes be the problem that we said last year and early into this year. It's CNED and friends. Well, it's not CNED and friends anymore, and we might just be getting a glimmer of world champion Ascend again.
That big change. And remember, Ascend are doing this against the Stage 1 champions. They've had no changes since then. So that is even more impressive to trash them out so well on this map. But I think it's time for us to dig a bit more in detail. I don't have anything for this one. So Ryan, how about you have a chat?
Less of a CNED round, more of like the rest of Ascend being able to have some really good mid-round calls. And I think one of the issues that we'd been consistently sort of saying, not only about ecos with FPX, which they lost an important one in the second half after the pistol, but being in these kind of advantages. A 4 versus 3 found a nice little opening, and that space that Ascend was so keen to take on this defensive side really isn't in their favor at all. So what do they do? This is actually a real nice setup play coming in from Zeke and Vac, who, like I said before, they're going to be talking consistently about how to make this work, set up a crossfire, and CNED can rotate over if he needs to. Just the approach from how this defense starts to walk forward, they kind of know that FPX are going to be a team that resets and rotates, so just gaining this information is worthwhile. Little crosshair here and there, and Zeke's able to sort of push up, take a fight, knows that this crossfire is coming in, and sure, Ardis should maybe win out that fight, but Vac being able to sort of hold on this position, it's more, you've got a minute left on the clock, you have that initial pressure coming in from FPX over towards A. They know that this team likes to try and reset and pull the rotations, especially when CNED's still alive, that they need to do something less obvious. But whilst we are going to harp on about how well CNED played on this map, I think that that was a round that was critical for Ascend to get on the board, and they did so by taking space, being aggressive, and trying to throw off FPX on their long-term game.
I don't think it'll be a surprise that I am gobsmacked. I am actually gobsmacked.
I was so gobsmacked, I couldn't even find a way to go into Ryan's round. This is how quick it ended.
We need to find something.
I don't know what's going on. So you know what? Let's just move on to our next map, because we have to forget about it, much like FPX has, if they actually want to get into Icebox and think, okay, we got a chance at this. They are experienced enough as a lineup to put Haven aside, at least you hope, and go into Icebox. That is Ascend's pick now, and Ascend start off on the attack with FPX on defense. Just your thoughts?
My thoughts are that, I mean, look, map-wise, look at history of what these teams have put on the board. Against G2, Ascend had a pretty good showing there. I will say, however, it's not been strength after strength for them on this map, but I have seen some of the things that CNED has done on this map, as well as the new players, I think, have done some really cool things and have been highly rated on this map. So I think there's an opportunity if CNED keeps that momentum going, and you've got the likes of Starks around him who's just cleaning up around him. Oh, I still think this is going to be hard for FPX.
You said like FPX have experienced, unfortunately, on Icebox, it's experiencing losing, really.
Yes.
It's the 0-3 so far this stage, but each time they bring out a new comp and it just doesn't seem to work. Yesterday they brought out the Euro. It was a nice attempt at something to try and catch people off, but now that you need to sort of pull something together, if it was that uncomfortable, then FPX would have banned it out. So that's my conclusion. But they can't play what they did yesterday. They just cannot do that.
Do you miss the Reina?
No.
I mean, look, that's the thing, is like, for those who aren't aware, their new composition with the Chamber, the KO, the Sage, of course, we've got the Viper there with Monster and everything, and then the Sova from there. I miss the Reina just out of the fact that it just allowed CNED to just run forward and do whatever he wanted, and that's kind of the flavor that we're getting at the moment with the Chamber. But as a whole right now, you are right, it's bad for FPX because they're trying so much. I don't think they do the Euro again. I really think they learn their lesson every time they try something, it doesn't work. They take a step back and they rectify it. I think we'll see a better FPX, but even without the Yoru, there were fundamentals missing. I think you would agree that FPX had fundamentals missing in that particular matchup that we saw just very recently.
It was a terrible time and just a hard read to get through. For Ascend, however, they did play the Raiden, like you mentioned, up until they faced against Fnatic, then moved over to that chamber with a good win over G2, who have been really good on this map consistently. Already, very different look. If on the Killjoy, they could keep the same composition, and I would like it. Finally, FPX going to one of the most played meta compositions that we see on this map. Zipan on the Sova's interesting. Yeah, this is also the standard stuff. Triple Sentinel on the side of FPX. For Ascend, Zeke's KO is the key to unlocking that. They're attacking first. FPX, they're keeping it very simple this time around.
I think there was one time I brought up a Photoshop picture of Xiao as like Battle Sage one time.
You and your Battle Sages.
Me and my Battle Sage Photoshops, everyone knows I'm sort of famous for that one. I brought him up once before. I believe in his ability on that, and absolutely. And Zippin, I mean, he zips around the map in 40-fold, and he's able to be supportive as well. So Angel and the KJ, this is it. It either has to stick or it's done.
Yeah, Artist versus CNED. I think bout one went to CNED decisively on Haven, but like that, now's a good chance for Artist to come in again and reset, play it very differently. It's certainly tempo-wise. Ascend want to play really fast. We can slow this right down on the defense.
And you talked about it. That's the composition change that you were looking at.
Yes.
It seems that this team is more ready and they're able, experience-wise, to set aside that first map and focus on our second and Icebox. Though, thank you very much. It is time for us to get into game. Will it all end here for FPX, or will they continue on? It's on the line, and Ascend are looking for the closer. We'll toss it to our casters, X-Warrior and Zesht. Enjoy.
I think there's only one thing everybody can say for certain right now, and is that everybody wants to see more of FPX. The last series that we saw today, the last lower bracket quarterfinal, or semi-final, however you want to call it, well, that went the distance. We saw the reverse sweep. Do we see that happening in this one?
Listen, I hear the doubt in your voice. I hear something is there. Listen, FPX are still looking to attend an offline event. Sure, last time around was unlucky. Absolute horrible circumstances. But this time around, they're there in the lower bracket, right? They're not smashing Fnatic 13-0 or anything. No, they're down here, a map down, and we're heading onto Icebox. Something where if they've been going absolutely crazy in the past with different compositions that seem absolutely out of their mind. But this right here, Triple Sentinel, something that you've seen time to time again from the likes of Fnatic or G2. Yes, this looks the most standard I've seen FPX in a while. And you know what? I like it. I absolutely like it. What I like a lot is CNED back on a chamber, because I feel this is the most comfortable we've ever seen him. I think Ryan mentioned it. He's very much having this Jet-esque kind of movement where he's absolutely confident in, I'm just going for the kill. And you know what? We're going to find out. Is there someone getting eliminated right here, or are we heading on to Breeze later?
Well, Ascend would love to get rid of FPX like this, restore former glory, and have a chance to fight, to join the fight for Copenhagen. They're not going to be easy at all. Slow start for them. Spike lingering towards this right side of the map, but you can see a little bit of a stack up there from FPX towards B. 3-man strong. And if spotted, could be trouble. Artist starts things off strong. That's what you're going to see if you're FPX. Artist has been quite a little bit absent the previous map, so good to see him coming alive already. But the cross may commence towards the safe side. I think you'll find the coast fairly clear. Angel finding another one off of the bat of the bot, giving him the info. Drops away and looks to play with his team. Good call as well, because it's a 5v3.
It is very much a 5v3. And that spike will go down either way, right? So they definitely play this on retake. Zeke could play such a pivotal role in this, because I'm not quite sure if they know that there's still someone back on tube. They very much don't.
If he would have gotten the next kill into Shower, then that could have been doable for Ascend. But still, it's a 2v4, which means both players need to find 2, the minimum.
Or CNED 4.
Or CNED 4. It has to be CNED 4 now, but 26 points of health. I see that being quite impossible unless he brings his magic
It's impossible.
hands.
It is impossible. It's literally impossible.
Yeah, the wall as well does deny that position. So yeah, there you go. That is FPX getting the first round, the pistol round. Hey, that is
Tell me.
that is a third of the rounds they got the previous map.
Yeah, if you want to put it that way, absolutely, Pavlos. during the regular playtime, right? During the regular season, FPX only took the risk of taking Icebox once, and that was against Fnatic. That was a few weeks back. First week of the game. Then they've done the same thing over there in the playoffs. So obviously not too long ago, a few days ago. And now we're here. Now we're in the scenario where I'm like a little speechless yesterday that they played this Euro kind of thing. This is reasonable to me. And this can work quite well, particularly on the defending side. But Monster, he dodged the ball. Hey, I didn't say if... did you hear me say anything?
No, I didn't hear you.
No, me neither.
No? What did you say?
Good job by Artis.
Oh, yeah, good job, Artist. Doesn't end up dying, but of course, reinforcements from Zipan do arrive quickly. Seems to be quite a fast round.
Yeah, that one is over for him.
Ending in an instant. And there you go, 2-0 for FPX, as expected, really, after that.
Very, very much expected. And so, it's exciting to see what ACEND will do against that. Because I believe, and I could be wrong, that ACEND had a very good sample to work with on Haven. I mean, Milan is competent in what he's doing. So I very much believe they worked exactly with that and knew exactly what was going on. But with ACEND constantly switching on Icebox, and I think also ACEND knowing no way they play this composition again because it's ridiculously weird, they were like, we cannot prepare for it in particular. That's just my elaborate guess.
The good thing is here that the situation Artist didn't get spotted by the Zero.
Yeah, true. But I think they know that this can't be the case. Look where they're aiming. I mean, they still have it somewhat on the radar.
There's reinforcements for Artist. Ends up falling. That's Zenith now alive. First kill going his way and now opens things up a bit. Wall has to be committed though. Very preemptive, but it gives Shower the higher ground, which could be everything. Sprayed on across, not the double, quickly traded. So ACEND with the upper hand have to go through the wall to get onto the site, but it's Zipan to find one onto Zenith, keeping things square.
That wall obviously insanely annoying. But so FPX, they see what they can possibly do with the lurk. You see it on the minimap. Potentially Angel is coming through tube sooner than later. And ACEND can still make the decision to rotate around, but I do not believe they do so. Starkso has the wall, Starkso has the plant. And there's no snake fight that's coming his way. It's impossible.
Well, they do get the plant down. No issues there. Now the next step of this fight starts to ensue. Plan to take over the site and start defusing that spike. How can they do it?
Yeah, and there's
Back
not
to
much.
the back end.
There's not much to deny them. No, there's not much. I mean, Monster only has one more snake bite. A good frag from him. And there's more to come.
Oh, Vac is there for him as well. Perfectly done, perfectly executed. That is ACEND with the first round on the board.
The little squeaky toy at the background. Gotta love it. Well, either way, ACEND was considering to make that rotation for a moment towards the A side, but they decided the right thing. It was exactly what was needed, and obviously, Monster hitting those shots and back swinging at the right time, at the right contact was exactly what they were looking for. Swapping up their default immediately from having to buy it, heading towards being the bonus, to what looks like it will be at least somewhat of a progression, no more of a fake towards A. Mid is what they're aiming for, and Angel could be the first victim. There's no other default. FPX is playing it also very passive, right? You don't see them take any room anywhere.
No. Meticulously trying to take over some space here, and it seems that Zenith is on a solo journey to find an opening. While the rest of ACEND start to open things up now towards their B site. Poison Cloud enabling the crossover. But still Zenith wants to stay within his rendezvous range. Without it, he won't feel too comfortable. Alarm bot dropping. He knows it's nearby, but doesn't quite find it. Which means they still have the information in mid.
Yeah, and for a second I wanted to highlight the nanoswarm, but it's not even there in time. It looked like it could have been the right distraction, but that wall is down, and so FPX starts the rotation.
Yeah, they do have the rotate indeed. Recon to the back end of the site. Very, very defensive here from FPX. Now, ACEND need to figure out how they get this spike planted.
Left.
Still difficult, waiting for the toxins to get back. Now with a 0 fragment, that is
20
snake
seconds,
bite at their
FPX.
fleet, running out of time. Monster with a double. If you can't do it with time, might as well find the kills. Sugetsu, fragment at his feet, has to start moving forward. Spike will be committed to, and they will be able to achieve it as well. It's down, and we're looking at 5-on-3. And FPX now rejoicing, but they can't be too happy, to be fair.
I mean, there are 2 snake bites. They're hiding in positions where they easily can be refragging their teammates. There's no real options. FPX, 1 info dart on Zippin could give them a bit of an advantage, but it's already destroyed.
Yeah, they definitely know there's a lot of movement there,
Yeah,
but
it's
they cannot risk it. Just too much weaponry that won't be able to be afforded later on. Has to be saved. Ascend, very clean round with minimal fights taken throughout it.
And I would really love to see what Monster has done there. Because we didn't have it at a POV, right? We couldn't really witness. And it looked like it was shooting for his own wall. So a double kill that opens up the opportunity. Because otherwise it would have been a 5 versus 5 retake. But if Ascend, very much back on it. And so far, it's not anyone's particular show. Let's put that right here as a headline.
No, it definitely didn't start like the previous map did, with Cena just showing up and doing stuff.
No.
Although, let's be fair, that defensive side does really help out with that chamber. So on attack, it's a little bit more difficult to find that impact because they're not really walking into your crosshair like that. But still, it's good to see Monster's entry fragging ability now being illustrated. Of course, one of the newest 2 members of the Ascend side.
A very nice little combination we saw there to deny the orb. Potentially thought that Artis or Shao might go for it. But for now, one thing that is very present to me is the matter of fact that FPX don't show any early interest in mid. And as a defender, you don't necessarily do so, but you also don't have much in denial. So outside of that alarm bot that is usually put after the smoke, that's all the control. And so Ascend waits. Ascend also don't set a very early Viper wall, just to put that one out. But here's one crucial information piece for FPX. They know it's not going to be A.
At least eliminate that outcome.
Look at the rotation. They know very early on. And
having 4 players in this approximate direction is perfect.
And if they don't do something about it soon, they will have a problem. Cannot plant. 35 seconds.
All has to be broken early, 35 seconds. You said it right. Zeke very aggressive. He's going to have to push through this. Beautiful flash drive, but there's an off angle that I didn't account for, which means that Zipan is able to find the opening. Now out onto the open. No command still available. Still denying the usage of abilities, which allows the spike to go down, but I'm afraid Zeke is a very dead man.
He might be still cowering on the ground, but he's out. Yep, that's for sure. Still, we were talking about a retake that now needs to be initiated, and Monster finds Angel. The ult is coming out.
Beautiful Viper spit now to come through. Does help them sustain this position. They're ahead right now.
Look behind yellow.
All FPX need to do is push through, and look at Zip. He's getting himself into the backline. The rest of them 2 and 2. Onto the side. That Zip and Shower open things up.
They
and now
don't know
Ascend
about
only
CNET.
rely on 2. They've got no clue where CNET and Stark so are. CNET chimes in as well, denying the defusal. Ascend come out on top.
Oh, this is so smart that they play outside of the ult and don't go in positions like belong. They really take the wrap around and realize that their opponent have to enter the ult. They will not hold side itself. Brilliant stuff, really. Amazing stuff. And it looked very possible, right? You saw how FPX played behind yellow and nearly made that work. But it just is not it. And it very often looks hardly possible for the guys of Ascend when there's this snake bite laying on site and they once more have to wait. FPX set everybody up for the retake or denying the plant. But they still make it possible every single time so far on B. Legit.
Ascend really able to feel out the way FPX are playing and getting better positions, even though they lost trades at the latter stages of that round, right? But it didn't matter, because they're able to catch them off guard with an off angle, with a full-on wraparound. And now FPX are troubled. They've lost the lead, right? They're looking at a situation where their buy will look weak as well.
I mean, their B plans are really getting me speechless. How much they work, how much they can cope with the enemy's pressure on how they obviously deny the initial plan and then still make it work. Yeah, it's quite decent. It is quite decent. And so, FPX with a very mixed buy. Artis Uh-oh. Lothar would be unhappy if he sees this. Artist playing a rifle while he have his ult, and Xiao and Angel playing...
Let's play.
What?
Revealing area.
Interesting.
I mean, CNET has popped his ult, right? I get that, but...
He has.
It's still...
Yeah, you kind of do want to see artists
I mean,
with that.
it most likely is basically that they make the decision, okay, we want to have that in an eco. It's the only thing that is reasonable to me. And next round, with the losing bonus, I'm sure FPX still have somewhat of a decent buy. That's the only thing that I see. But that's
essentially artists will be using that as a gun next round instead of this one.
But either way, a change in direction from Ascend. They waited out what's happening towards A, play close to 410, and get on site immediately. What is the reply from FPX though?
Also gets into the back end, yet to be challenged. Flash drive does put Zeke in an uncomfortable position, ends up falling. Angel, Die, CNET, so aggressive, and StarkShow as well on top of the wall. They've turned it around, and they've actually gotten so much out of this. 3 on 5, and FPX are trailing behind. They're on the outside looking in.
Revealing area.
And now Recon to the far end, looking to find info. Quickly stopped though. 0 onto site. Zipan looking to aggress, Snakebite by his feet, but they're playing so far out corners. That Guardian's going to take a long time till it takes that wall down. Shao though, that could be a mistake. Zipan comes out to get the kill, but StarkShow with the backside trade is how Ascend maintain their lead, and they take it even further.
And one thing I like a lot so far about Ascend is that it feels like they have insanely good fundamentals in the sense of trades, right? It never felt like we saw a stupid overpeak from anyone out of Ascend, and if someone was peaking, it has been very instantaneously traded. I like that a lot. It never gave FPX the time to readjust where the second opponent is coming from. So, let's see what they will do. Let's see what is about to happen. As this time around, there you have the Artist ult, and here he comes taking B site pretty much on his own. See how deep he is. They rule out that position. Look if anything is coming mid, nothing's coming mid, and they seem to play retake over on A. That's pretty much what it seems like at the moment.
It does seem like it, but they do dedicate the 2 players to the back end of the site. Angel actually trying to grab some space himself, but ends up losing his life, so he gets in a difficult position, has to move away. The slow orb really going to delay his fall back, but they do get the spike down. That is Ascend now. Just letting them firing themselves on top. They did it twice in B consecutively. They're looking to do it twice consecutively onto the A site as well.
And now I'm just curious to see what's about to happen, right? What is it that we're about to witness from them in the sense of the retake? Because they don't have anything that would particularly help them. Zeke is down, but look at the lurk, FUNPLUS.
It's massive. Monster coming through as well from mid. Still being a thorn yet to be dealt with. Wanting to get that spike defuse. Hunter's Yuri as a caveat as well. And Monster is still shooting bullets. Zipan sidesteps. Will try and catch Vac off guard. But it doesn't seem like Vac is going to peek him. Knows the spike isn't being touched. Knows this Zipan is right below him and takes him down. Ascend are looking like a different beast right now.
They were looking remarkable. Absolutely marvelous. And I personally, I think this is a composition where you benefit a lot when you're defending. There's so much map control you can gain. And sure, they make quite decent work with the map control, but it feels like with the ruling out that FPX does, they cannot follow up on with the ruled out room to, for example, extend somewhere. And I mean, we cannot really rate this FPX defense once more, considering how often they change compositions. So from twice on A directly to B, good night, Artists. It's they really set the pace, right? They're in the driver's seat.
They really are. I mean, Shao's have been able to open things up here, and if they find another kill like this, it wouldn't be impossible. But no.
No, I think the no is really in bold letters, FUNPLUS.
Yeah, bold, you know, word art from, you know, Microsoft World 2003.
I have the spike.
Come on, please.
FUNPLUS, please.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
No,
please.
no.
All the boomers out there know.
Just stick to the game. I swear to God. Zip him.
Everybody born after 2005 probably has no idea what I'm talking about right now.
And for the moment, I just want to see what Angel can do. IGLing with that Sheriff. And as he's looking to find a few more kills left, right, and center, he's definitely not using his ult, saving that one up, but he's dead. That is good night, mates.
Down he goes. Ascend, just keep on giving. although we're talking about a sheriff buy there from FPX, don't get me wrong, but overall, I mean, they're looking like a different beast. They know exactly what to do, when to do it. Trade game, beautiful. Rotation game, even better. And you've always got someone fragging out. And I love that I'm seeing Monster now in those positions, getting those flags, getting in difficult positions, and putting FPX in very uncomfortable angles, right? Often not knowing where to expect, always having to look behind them.
I mean, you say it, and that leaves me also slightly worried. So, well, we see. On the previous game they had, in the previous games they had over there here on Icebox, they weren't doing too well necessarily on the retake behavior, at least. Their defense on Icebox also not the best, not the highest win rate, so it gets problematic. But what we see right here, you have Killjoy on her ult, you have Viper on her ult, you have Zipan with his ult. Shao can revive anyone. It would be about time to win a round on the side of FPX, because otherwise it will spiral out of control, similar to Haven.
Well, the A site now looks to be the one under breach. And unfortunate for FPX, they don't have the adequate number of players to respond to it. Not really aggressively pushing the game, this information. Therefore, this is going to be a last-second call. They've kind of read it now. They've kind of realized this is going to be the push. Now, Viper's Pit enabled defensively, but the wall definitely will guarantee that the spike will go down. A little bit of a fake as well. Oh, Suigetsu! Unparted, denied.
Yeah, and no Viper would play up there, logically speaking, but here we go. Angel finds CNET. Finally, it seems to work for the side of FPX.
This is a little bit uncomfortable here. FPX are finally getting a lot of the kills.
Nice
Monster coming in from behind, but it's a little bit too late. He has to pick up the pieces all by himself. But as he said it does look done. It does look like it's out and over. Good little piece there from Shao. But with 3 seconds remaining up against 2, has to run away with this. Save the weapon. We'll take down Suigetsu as well for good measure. Only one weapon saved from FPX. That's the operator. But at least it's FPX to get the win.
It's still costly as hell. It's not like FPX really gaining the momentum in the sense, oh, we still have all the weapons and everything. Nope. Not really there. And what a move by Sejetsu. Right, standing up, elevated, taking a risk, but a very calculated risk. And peeking out there to kill the planter. Proper stuff from him, really. Calm, collected, and knowing when to find kills. Gotta love him for that. But so, ACEND seemed to set the pace, more at least for the moment.
There you go.
To go for something A decided, but CNET falls. Finally, there was a change. Artis takes a route towards A. And they instantly switch. They're like, no interest in those operators. Let's move over.
You really love to see Artis being a little bit more comfortable, right? He can have so much impact on this server, but when he's not feeling it, when he feels CNED's breath, just suffocating. But now he's taking him out. Has opened up the round, making the defensive endeavors a little bit easier.
I'm not quite sure how much awareness they have towards yellow. Because they dodge everything that was actually there in the way to deny them. So Jetsu might just be hurt. He very much has been hurt towards Snowman.
The response could be very late. Suigetsu. Oh, it's injured to be
no
spotted
idea.
out
Hold
first.
on.
Suigetsu to the sideline. No! Suigetsu with 3 kills. Might have just salvaged the round for FPX. It could have gone wrong, but he salvaged it.
1 kill and resurrection is available. That could be so important.
They're not going to give him the kill, though.
Do you,
or is he?
Do you think so?
Oh, they do not.
Yeah, you're right.
Zipan delivers. FPX back in it. All off the back of Suigetsu's triple kill.
I wouldn't have thought that. I would have not thought that that is possible. For a second, I thought they heard the jump peak, and I'm like, yeah, okay, see you later, mate. But it didn't happen. He did everything right. And so FPX, for their own sake, bounced back in this, right? It looked dire. It looked sinister. That... The Angel taking care of something else or disconnecting. One of the two, but...
Spike down B.
The fact that they could have gotten a 4th there just scares me even more.
Yeah, I think... No, never mind. ACEND time.
And I'm actually glad ACEND are taking their time out here, because it seems like they've dropped the ball on a couple of occasions here. FPX caught them off guard with a little bit of aggression before even the plant commences, and that's where ACEND are finding some difficulty here. So they're trying to deal with it before it gets too out of hand.
And I mean, what we've seen was a really, really cool idea. The idea of pushing deep CT seemed to be the right call for me, but everything in the hands of Sujetsu. I mean, Shao on the top of scoreboard, Kakuka's happy as ever. So let's see how this will pan out. Let's see how that will work. Because the real fast executes we haven't really seen from ACEND yet. Yeah, there are sure a few swifter ones on B. The full-on A execute. Yeah, nice things, don't get me wrong, but I think this is something that can really work well on the side of ACEND.
Can they turn it around back in their favor? They're already a map up. Remember, FPX can't afford to lose this. High stakes all across the board. If they lose this matchup, they're out of VCT EMEA Stage 2 of this year. And no longer contending to get themselves to an international stage. Lovely shot there from Artis to keep him alive, and his team seen it again out, just like the previous round. He seems like he's able to deliver. Resurrection, though, brings everybody back up and alive, but it does seem that ACEND are double backing from the decision.
And there you have it, right? There it was very clear. Let's take a bit more of an aggressive stance towards A, but immediately denied. Good that they have the Resurrection available. But FPX are just taking it so patient, right? We've never seen them overstep the mark, really. We've never seen them take any big risk in the sense of a peak. It has always been very calculated. And with 45 seconds left on the clock, the destination is clear. But what is the reply from FPX?
Ooh. How do they work around this? The shot been spotted yet. They know there's two on the close approximate area. That is Vac finding the first kill. Zipan stuck between a rock and a hard place, gets himself one before he ends up falling with the Viper's Pit. They will start planting that spike, but we're talking about a 3-on-4 here. With the lockdown now placed by Angel, this could be doable by FPX.
And you see the defender Killjoy is going to take off soon. The players are pretty much gone out of space. The only one that is going to have a problem... Wait, there's two. Hold on, this is Monster as well as Zeke, but he's standing outside of that ult.
Now they can play a 3-on-2.
Never
the
mind.
other two are detained. That means that they're getting 2 kills here. The spike has been touched. The pressure is on, but Monster and Cena have got better angles to work with. Monster with 1 point of health survives and puts ACEND on top. 7 on the board for them now.
And this guy was, by the way, detained, if I'm not totally wrong. So, I'm just letting you know, right? You see right here.
That is crazy.
That was smart by him, but a quick realization. Really, really quick, but either way. The spray down in the end was iffy, but it worked. I think that's the only thing that's really relevant. And so it's a 7-4. ACEND seemed to be back on track after such a back and forth A-side execute.
You want to play? Let's
Different
play.
direction. Let's go B. And as it seems to be quite clear, there is no Viper on the A side. There's nothing really holding them up. And with that ult, everything that would slow you down, gone.
Shower stuck. Shower stuck. There's no way he can go. 8 points of health. And he is going to die without able to trade a single kill going his way. Artis able to shut down Zeke, but that's the ultimate to keep him alive. Hunter's Fury to keep him busy, looking to do further damage. The Resurrection will come through, bringing him back to life. 5 players on the ACEND camp, FPX with 2, and now the decision has to be made. Do they keep their place onto the B side to the wraparound? No, sticking around, getting the plant down, and we're looking at 3 from FPX, looking to get close. They do deny the spike plant at first. Now the Swarm also comes in, but it's Angel to get the kill. All of a sudden, this is looking doable because Angel gets 2, and now the Viper's Pit gets themselves spike control, and it's ACEND on the back foot with 2 players.
Yeah, he made it out of there alive, though. 70 and 79 HP, and man, they are running as fast as possible.
It was supposed to be a 5v3.
Taking care of mid. Yeah, well, they notice what's up, and they will meet Angel. That's the thing. They will meet Angel, and they will meet Zippin very soon.
Oh, they've got the perfect defense for this FPX. They've got their players already in place. They need the trades, they need the kills. Cena is low already. Zeke has to fall. It's all down to Cena. It does rendezvous away, but how can you even uncover yourself from this 14 seconds? Barely no time. All they have to do, FPX now, is just hide away. And that is FPX on 5 at half time. What?
Switching sides.
At half. What a round. And how on earth did ACEND lose control of that one?
I mean, this was the thing that we saw work time and time again on the B side, is that even when there was the moment where FPX was denying them the plant, they wait, and then they plant, and they make it work. So we very much witnessed right here that it's not always that easy, and FPX can finally bring such a round home. But that was one hell of a back and forth. Let's put it that way.
It's crazy to me how FPX came out on top on that.
Yep.
Maybe they're too greedy to get that spike down quickly. Instead of trying to find some extra space, extra kills, it just can get out of control so fast. And even though FPX had an abysmal first map, it doesn't seem they want to go down in a similar fashion. They're really giving it their all. They're really giving it every fight. And now on the attacking side, it's them to dictate the pace. Quick Trace coming through. It's Zeke to open things up, and he's able to double it up as well, getting back into safety. Being chased after a lot of aggressive FPX players. Still 2-on-3. ACEND to win out on every angle. There's Monster and Vac chime in as well. The pistol for ACEND will just increase their advantage.
Looked wonderful, didn't it? I mean, it tried to rush the A site, no chance overall. And you see there the wonderful trade behavior and the wonderful off angles that just caught FPX off guard. They were just too fast in it. And so it should be a 9-5, pretty secured. It should be ACEND. Not too many rounds away from securing this as a 2-0. And FPX, I don't know what this roster needs to be in an offline event again. I mean, sure, their bracket was showing them that they're playing against Fnatic. This is not the easiest task. But here we go. Here FPX takes out one of the strongest units of ACEND with a Sheriff, and suddenly the defenders have a man disadvantage. It's...
Watch out, there's a new cowboy in town.
Didn't know they have cowboys there.
Yeah. Well, they come from heaven. Angel.
Good one. Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. That's why I had to say the name.
Yeah. Good thing you did.
Otherwise, nobody else would have gone. They'll be probably like, what
yeah.
is this guy on about? Heaven?
I think from the point you start talking about cowboys, that was probably the audience reaction.
Probably lost them already.
Sure thing.
Okay. Well, ACEND seem to have an adequate placement of players. Polarized across the map, 2 on site. Zero command used straight out of the bat. Knowing of one position, definitely knowing it's followed up by more.
Yeah.
But they need multi-frags here. If the pistols start to overwhelm, that's Vac with a lot of damage. Zeke ends up falling here. Oh, this is troubling. Zeke is in big trouble, so is Vac. Monster gets one, looking to assist his teammates, but the spike hasn't gone down yet. That's the crucial part. They're looking to close up on this position. Angel dropped, but Monster elevated, still keeps it going. Doesn't check Shao's right-hand side. Monster holds on, all down to Shao, but overwhelmed by the players of ACEND. Damn, it got dicey, but they get it done either way.
Way too tight in the end. And I believe ACEND in that scenario was taking a few too many fights against weapons they thought they would win against. It still is a 9-5. It still is more than decent, but is FPX breaking the momentum of their opponent or not? That round is going to decide it, right? This is going to be it. And if there's one thing that was very clear on the defender side of Haven, it was how confident CNET is in getting an entry for his team. So let's see if that is going to be the case once more or not.
Last player standing.
Shao is probably hitting himself for not attempting to get that kill, because it did cost, so he gets his life. And it really could have differentiated who would have come out on top in that round.
Yep. And here you see it, they very early on want to rule out the entirety of B. Understandably, with the weapons they have, it's a close range fight they can pick.
Should be
Particularly
simple
Vac.
for Zipan. Ooh, trade.
Not that
Not too
simple.
Although he can't recover a weapon, can he?
No,
It's too far out of
no,
reach.
but I mean, if you have 7 bullets in your headhunter, is it that much of a deal? Not necessarily. Sure, a rifle spitter, but it still is.
It's seen it.
It's CNET and it's hella lethal. So this man is better giving us his daily routine after this game. In the meantime, though, the entirety of B long, obviously due to him leaving, has been left open. So one bad timing, and he's dead. But he dinged him for the wall. Just letting you know, he dinged him for the wall.
Through the container. That is insane.
Against the ninth room. They're denying room entirely with that. But he's finally
Ooh.
dead. I think that's relief for FPX.
Yeah, this time he did get caught, which means so he gets opens things up. That could be a simple plant for FPX, you're right. Now they can be a little bit relieved with their position, hold their back ranks. No reason to play aggressive anymore. STAGE2 left behind there, Monster trying to nestle some shots through the smoke there, but instead receive some to the face himself. Zeke falls in a similar fashion as well. We're looking at a 6th round here for FPX. They're closing up the gap, but still quite a long way to go to reach ACEND.
And this is where the buy comes in for the boys. And this is where, most importantly, FUNPLUS, the operator comes in from ACEND. Like, that is the tool that we are looking forward to, right? And instead of what you very often see from operators, and most likely Chambers, is taking a bit of a more aggressive stance towards A, right? Going closer to the orb, passing the orb, or playing behind yellow and B. Nope, he's trying to deny mid control of FPX. Even more, tries to go down deep mid. And with the arrow, he knows, okay, nobody's pushing, nobody's nearby. And he goes through. They're ruling out a lot of space at this point, and they know how much it potentially is B, though Zeke rotates around.
Yeah, it's a little bit slower though. Yeah, Zeke is reinforcing that A site, but FPX are looking ahead towards this B site though.
Yeah, and they're very much hoping for a mistake from the ACEND side to go a little too over-aggressive. And that just might happen here. Angel versus CNET is the entry duel.
Oh, the timing could have been bad. But at the end, he gets it.
Yep.
And that's what matters. Splitting the map in two, but they need to act quickly because the rotations are already coming in. The wall comes forth as well from STAGE2, desperately holding up this position, buying the time for his teammate to arrive, and he might be able to do so. Look at them already at the back end of the site. CNED chiming in some shots. He's looking for more. They seem to be trading out favorably for ACEND right now, but Shao needs to hold on. Up against 3, make it 2 now. Finds himself back into safety and even has a res to use if he's given the opportunity to, but he's running out of time.
Yep.
Throws in the wall to try and get a resurrection in, but that is going to be an aggressive Zeke to find both remaining players ACEND on double digits.
I'm astonished on that decision making from ACEND right here, right? You see, first of all, that CNET is taking an aggressive stance because they expect the rotator from A to B. They don't go A because there's the Viper ult. Further on, and that's even where it gets better for me, is how constantly they were denying FPX the room to enter B. Okay, you have a wall there? Fine, wall gets destroyed. Okay, I'm gonna slow behind yellow. Okay, now they're coming more and more closer to the wall. I still got my fragment ready. It was really one layer after another to deny FPX getting on site.
You want to play? Let's play.
And here comes the aggression. How do you get? There's a turret, but he's out of it.
We've seen Artix hit those a couple of times, but not yet CNET, but he's going in for more. This guy, unrelentless. But he does hold back for a little bit, never mind. Just give him the benefit of the doubt, guys. CNET. He's not going to go away unless he gets a kill.
And the good part is that with that entry, you obviously do not necessarily see a player once more facing against you. They walled down deep mid, so mid is obviously clear. All right, we can focus on B side. This is where ACEND is right now.
FPX on the constant change of compositions, now going to something more default. But it still doesn't seem to be it for him. Zipan does find it through the smoke, though. Interesting.
Okay.
Double it up, okay, give him a chance.
Kind of ridiculous, to be very honest, but all right, it works. Monster, though, sneaking and lurking.
Oh, Monster. Oh, this could be the turnaround yet again. That's the first one. Artist now is out. And interestingly enough, the rest of the team is starting to help him out as well. So he gets looking to set up a crossfire here with Shao, but they're all going to come in from the back end of yellow. Bulls and Cloud. Shao is going to aggress.
Past each other.
Oh, they walk past each other. So he gets to aggression. Monster, though, turns it right back around. 1 point of out, but dies to the Hunter's Fury. CNED.
You can half it.
Up against Zipan, there's a shock dart available, and it could be enough if it accurately hits CNED here. Off to the sideline, not good enough to recover it. Zipan with a quadra to save the day for FPX. They're still in the game.
They're still in the game. Very much they are. And you see the back and forth coming in from ACEND. And all the room that they ruled out were still simply not enough after those entry frags they got on the side themselves.
That's crazy.
ACEND didn't see that coming. ACEND didn't see coming how to get eliminated. You see those 2 big X's over there on the B side, on the side itself? Yep. Those were the ones we were looking forward to. Or at least the FPX side was looking forward to.
Bit of a back and forth, that one, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was. Until the last second, both of them could have won it. But here we go. Very smart, by the way, from CNET using his Headhunter instead of Tour de Force to destroy the turret, because those bullets are valuable. You cannot repurchase them. And so no real weapons in the hands of Ascent. Legit classics, a Sheriff, one Guardian, and, well, the ult. I've seen it. That's it.
Now FPX, it's as if they've thrown a lasso into Ascend, is starting to pull and approach them ever quicker. Slowly closing up this gap. No longer, this is not an Ascend show anymore. This is FPX looking to bounce back, and if they're able to find kills like that, they'll just make it comedic as well.
Yeah, but if they really want to go for it, they will run into this man. But now they think twice about it. Never mind, he's dead.
All right.
I thought it would be the heroics, but it ain't happening.
Artis is a much more happy man now with this particular map really falling into place for him.
Spike planted.
Completely different to how Haven turned out.
Oh,
Player standing.
unfortunate. That kind of stuff happens. But here we go. It seems like we're entering round number 8, and we're entering a space that seems possible for FPX to win. Very much do. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of clear this was about to happen, but I mean, when we talk about recent Icebox performances, right? It is something where you see that, let's put it that way. Ascent is flourishing a little more on attack. When we leave focus out of the equation, we see that their attack is just a slight bit better than their defense throughout this stage. So it's not too many rounds, Pablo. It's not like we're talking about a good chunk. It's just free. But those free are quite hard to obtain. FPX setting themselves up for a quick A-side take. Wall's already up, and they're going to Swifty. They're going Speedy. Angel has his ult. Sujetsu has his ult. Those are things that really deny space so massively from Ascent.
Yeah, initially it did really look like it was going to be a very quick crunch, but they are really taking their time to clear out every single one of these corners, and I don't quite see the commitment coming in from them yet.
In Ascent sent everyone over. There's like 4 out of 5 already ready. CNET thought about it, but look how close they stand.
Could be the double fake. Make him think they've already pulled them towards the B site, but thankfully CNET is there holding down that extremity. There's no reason to have ultimate rotations. Now they're looking to push forwards. Now onto the site. Shower looking across end there first. The wall comes in. Monster with his sideline. An all too important position that could do so much. And it's vital with timing. Angel falls. Spike hasn't gone down yet, by the way. And rotations have come in. Zik with a crossfire ends up killing off Shower. And that's the guy that was supposed to get the spike down for FPX. Ascend full control here. All they have to do is keep their positions and then play the trade game.
And they're constantly being denied. They're constantly not allowing them to plant where they want to plant. Sure, there is the ult finally coming in, and he gets the spike down.
Zipan is looking to go aggressive, you can feel it. But now up against 2, it's going to be a difficult task. Gets the first one. If he's able to turn it around, it's up to him. So he gets it with another. 30 points of health for Zipan. Artis is a little bit too far away from the fight right now. It's all down to Zipan, but he does! And Artis with all to do. Unable to do it. Ascend! Prevail. Very smart. Very quick. And it's double digits now, extended to 11 rounds for them.
Goodness, FPX. I didn't see that coming that way. For a second, I was like, yep, FPX is slow enough to make that one work. Then they crumbled one after another. And I love what I've seen there from Ascend, really. The matter of fact that they have constantly a way of denying you to plant with the composition they have is wonderful to watch. They'll be like, yep, you want to plant? Here's a snake bite for you. Oh, you want to go for it? No, there's another fragment. It's annoying. It is really annoying on the side of FPX. And the window of opportunity is closing in, right? That there's not too many more games that we're going to see from the FPX side outside of LCQ in VCT. Well, there's only LCQ if they lose this. Pardon me, so.
Yeah. Who would have thought when you start a year as strong as FPX to be now in the lower bracket and facing elimination in the second stage so quickly?
Oh, they were looking wonderful, Pavlos. They were looking remarkable. And a little visit.
By far, they look like the best team in EU.
Oh, well, I would have said Fnatic would be a little bit better, but they're most definitely up there, by far. But it seems like Ascent might beat them and take them out.
My bot.
Well, you can no longer say they're the best in EU anymore, can you?
Nope. And so, is FPX once more waiting patiently in front of the gates of A side. We've seen this before. What's going to be interesting mid-round is going to be what Sujetsu can do, because he's on the lurk. But first of all, they need to get on site anyway.
onto Shuri, literally finding not a single tag.
And not the Killjoy ult as well. They really ignore it.
Poison's off.
Suigetsu with such a good flank.
Absolutely.
He could do everything there. Artis gets a double kill. Might not even come to Suigetsu. Monster is wary of the backline. Suigetsu deals
There
with
you
Defender
go.
off of himself. And now it's down to CNED, but it's just too darn late. Anton to draw now. Or is it too late? Oh, makes this look a little bit more dangerous, but that's all it is. FPX recover, and they actually keeping the close very, very, well, very close.
Would have not been surprised if they would have made that work. Honestly, would have not been surprised. But what a stuff by FPX, really. Their A-side executes look really, really solid. In combination with that ult from Angel, exactly what you needed. And here comes a time from ACEND. NBS once more talking sense in their players. And be like, guys, we need to calm down in this. If you heard some of the voice comm videos, ACEND can be very chaotic from time to time. Especially when the tension is high. And it's not like it's constantly weird comms, right? It's far away from that, but oh boy, am I worried. At the same time, FPX, it feels like this is the time I'd already be like, this is so close. We're not out of this at all. Haven? Okay, whatever. And so ACEND on their defense really need to show what they are made of. The A side is somewhat of a weak link, at least this is what it feels like.
The scary thing, Tess, is that we might have to wait as well. We may be looking at FPX on a 10th, and then that's when things really do get scary.
I mean, it depends really much on the buy that ACEND is going to take right now. And they're going to go for it? No,
there's no way.
It's a half, yeah. It's somewhat of a half. It's fine. It's fine.
It's a bit of a shaky one.
Yeah, but it's more than all right, because with the weapons they have, they can still deal some damage and try to work with it. Grab some for your teammates when you get a kill. And here we see once more CNED taking a risk. So in the meantime, Starkso falls in mid. Ah, no. This man is spotted. And they ignore
do
it.
know exactly where he is. Yeah, they do ignore it. They want to head towards the other side
look
instead.
at that there.
Oh, back. He would have loved the kill there, but he's actually able to get away from that. I'm surprised. Recon to their feet. They know there's a ton of presence from FPX towards the B site now, and you can already see the rotations coming in from ACEND, but honestly, the question is, how much damage can you do? How close can you contend this?
And they reconsider it again, as you see, right? They might have two players behind yellow, but they'll not do it immediately.
Ooh.
Good stuff. Artist did not hit.
He did not.
No, he didn't, and they still consider B. What seemed to be a conditioning towards A, we're going B.
Artist wants to give it a second go here,
No way.
and the Viper's Pit is enabled. That's definitely going to give the call for FPX to rotate,
they
which
need to.
means it's down to the wire, but look who's importantly holding this out is Zeke. If he stops them for any amount of time, this could be crucial. No, unable to do so.
No way.
Trampled over
Yep.
in the dust. CNED's turn now. Uh-oh. Close.
Overrun.
Angel gets it done as well.
Yeah, that was-
FPX did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Oh.
And now can just simply get the spike down without too many issues. Monster, only a trade. But it just seems this is where the round ends for ACEND. And this is where FPX will be greeting them into the double digits gang.
Very cool gang to be in, but it seems like Monster isn't done. At least not done with dealing damage. But one shot from the turret, or two bursts, and he's dead, so...
It's definitely keeping them on their toes.
Uh-oh, hold
no
on,
way.
hold on.
No way,
The
Monster.
turret is dead, by the way. The turret is out.
And so are the nanoswarms.
Oh!
That surely would have been the play of the year if Monster would have performed that. If he would have been able to pull it across the finishing line. But he didn't.
But I mean, this game so far, on the Monster side, is literally... He is what his name implies. Absolutely wonderful with lurks, absolutely wonderful with control, with delays, and obviously in the fragging department. But that's so far not enough. FPX are creeping up and creeping up and creeping up to success. And this gives them the 10th. Their approach so far with the slower defaults where they have second thoughts and second decisions in their aggressions seems to work decently. And ACEND don't have the same map control. They don't have the same approach, right? Somewhere in the beginning of this half, we saw a CNED hold mid aggressively. Haven't seen them ever since. They are way more passive.
They're definitely towing in Ascend's boat, and they slowly will be finding themselves on board.
Scanning ahead.
Little by little, FPX know the pressure is on, and so do Ascend. Very slow, no risks taken anywhere. Look how far back Ascend are playing it.
Yep.
You would say Zeke's position is aggressive, but it really isn't. He's
Didn't
got
see him.
Cena to the left side, an angle, Angel. Yeah, you're right, didn't get spotted, but they back away from this. They don't entertain the idea of A, instead pivot towards the B site.
Poison's off.
And the slowing power there is present but limited. For example, Starkso doesn't have a wall anymore. He used that in Tube. And with 35 seconds, 2 more slow orbs can do something.
Uh-oh, Starkso.
He
They know where he is.
Yep, and he's going to slow him again. That's more
Can he
than
get away?
decent.
No, he cannot. Suigetsu with a double. Where did the second come from?
No idea. But he's doing it on. He's going on and on and on.
That's insane.
It is.
Zeke, there's no way he brings it back from this one. Cena with everything to do. FPX equalize and have just put Ascend in the mud.
I would have said more in the snow, but I see what you mean. It's getting ice cold for Ascent. There is no momentum heating them up at the moment. It needs to be a miracle round to deny the possibility of overtime, if not the success of FPX. And they're
How do they
toying with
start
them.
throwing those icicles though, man? How do they come back from this? They seem to be in control. 8-4 half, and now 11-11. FPX seem in full control. It seems Ascend have no answers.
There you go. Other man dead. And here you go, same thing as always. Slow default tower speed, waiting it out a little bit. Seeing if anyone is pushing from Ascent in any direction. This is why they have the Sova where it is. This is why they have Viper where she is. And this is where they can once more revisit their options, right? This is what their default allows them. It's nothing spectacular in that sense, but it's absolutely working fine.
And just for context, for anyone who's just joined in, Ascend won the first map decisively, 13-3. We're definitely not looking at the same game here. Moving towards the A site, probably the best decision they could be making. They'll find a Baron to be real estate for them. Just enter without too many issues. Lockdown enabled. Make sure they guarantee the space is there. Stark so close by, taking a risk by being here. Right click could be his way to victory, but no, Artis is there, and the Vandal will definitely overwhelm the power of the Classic. Dink across the wall onto Monster. Now that is daunting. And a couple of them may be detained. Zach? No. Who's Zach? I mean Zeke.
I don't know, you're listening to so much High School Musical, but either way, as Zeke is trying to find anything more close range, it's still somewhat possible.
Just like High School the Musical, can they get the heads into the game? Zeke might be able to find a few heads of his own. CNET as well. Damage granted, but it's FPX now on map point and on the verge of tying the series up.
Match point.
The show is getting a little different, isn't it, Pavlos? It's getting most definitely very different. And as we see right here, Ascend, they gotta make it work with that particular buy. And I tell you one thing, throughout this entire stage, FPX have not won Icebox. Not once. Not once. And it always was in the past overtimes at 13-11. They are not so consistent on this map. But this is the choice of Ascend. I think this is what we gotta highlight. This was their visit. With Zeke eliminated, round 24 starts with man disadvantage.
That is not how you want a round to start for Ascend, especially when your opponents could be closing this map out with that advantage.
Yep.
Poison's off.
FPX so cautious. Know that one mistake can draw it to overtime and completely turn the tide around.
1 minute. It's 60 seconds that once more decide if we see an overtime or another map. And here we go.
Important kill by Monster opens things up. Ipus Pit as well, together with the wall. Now FPX have another decision to make. Resurrection granted, but to be fair, Ascend gain a lot of info out of that.
And with that, they have once more revived their Hunter's Fury. That is such an important afterplant ability.
They've left mid open though. A site still defended by 2. Very, very far pushed up here by Ascend. Hunter's Fury looking for the second, unable to get it, and that gets overwhelmed. Twice in the same position, Ascend lose players. And it seems to be the beginning of the end in this map. This could be where it all ends. And the CNED comes up huge. Wall up, trying to deny it. That's the kill. And
15
that's the
seconds.
spike no longer planted. 14 seconds. CNED looking to push even further. Angel gets it though, and it's all down to Stark. So can you read that position? Yes, they will. Angel with a triple. Monster all that remains. But I'm afraid, man, you're too far out of your depth. Might be able to find Harold, but won't be able to get a single kill. So he puts FPX across the finishing line. In the series now, they're 1-1 apiece. And they're both fighting for elimination and progression.
I cannot believe what I've been just seeing here, FUNPLUS. I'm absolutely speechless. It was so close. There wasn't too much missing. But in the end, it was just a flat last few rounds where the momentum was shifting in the other direction and where Ascend suddenly start to make mistakes that are very unusual, right? This was 5 in a row by FPX. 5 in a row.
All I know is that we saw 2 maps this series, and both of them were completely different. Now, who knows what we can expect from the 3rd map, but ladies and gents, you won't wait for too long for that, because we'll be back after a very short break.
FPX do not go down without a fight. Our Stage 1 EMEA champions are still back at it again, and here they push Ascend to a map 3. We talked about FPX being able to recover with their experience from that Haven, a 13-3 for Ascend, and they bring it back 13-11. Incredible here, Ryan.
It was such an odd map overall because Ascend again were looking really strong. FPX had only won 1 full buy versus a full buy on Haven. It took them until round 9 to get one here. But as soon as they got things going, there was a bit more confidence building, and we sort of said it on Haven. The tempo of that map is very fast. Ascend were leaning into it, but as soon as things became a bit more methodical, slowing down baits and rotates, I think that's where Angel's calling really came into its own.
Yeah, and I think the calling probably became even more important for the side of FPX when they were able to chain together. They get the 5 rounds in a row to capitalize. When they started working out, there were very particular power positions of the map that, Ascend likes to hold. And if we kind of just pick and prod at those and take a couple of fights here and there, Haven was so successful for the side of Ascend because you heard the casters pointing out time and time again, the trades were unstoppable from the side of Ascend. But on this particular setup defensively here from Ascend, there were people who are a little bit more spread out. They take a little bit more solo power positioning, and FPX were like, we got that. We kind of know what you're up to now. We now know where your solo stragglers are on the map. We just take them where we can, and then we hit the site with power. And it was a little sad that they weren't, with the 3 Sentinel setup, able to defend sites appropriately, but they absolutely made up for it on their attack.
It's the first time that we've seen FPX play that triple Sentinel of Killjoy, Sage, and Chamber. I'm so used to seeing him as a duelist. I think he's actually my role, but I think it was a case of they played it as it should be, and I think Ascend really struggled to adjust by pushing on the defense, seeing if they could get stuff. They get picked off, but FPX don't then rush to a site. They still bait and rotate, pull around the map, and this Ascend team is still relatively young. It was hard for them to really get a grip of what this FPX team was trying to do across the map, and they also had individual plays to match.
And then a player to highlight for this game is Zipan, clearly. So let's see what he breaks down with numbers, Jess.
I felt the momentum and everything shifting in the game when Zipan was over towards yellow on B and he went nuclear. I think it was a 3 or 4K, then very next round he popped another 4K. And I sat there and I thought, ooh, things feel a little different now. Ascend look a little more scared in these rounds. Zipan is just flying in. And I thought, all right, I think FPX have worked out what it is that they want to do, and they're doing it with confidence. And that was really what triggered it for me in being a shift in that kind of momentum for that team.
So previously, Shao has been on that silver role, and I think it's been some of his worst performances statistically. And also, it felt that when FPX played against Fnatic yesterday, they didn't have too much information to work off. This time, it was a bit more pulling the map and stuff. So I think that you look at Artist as well, 5 and 2, I think, for first kills. But it didn't feel like he was shining in the same way. CNED was in the last map. But when you have a regimented setup,
Yep.
I think Ardis slots into that for FPX better than CNED does for Ascend, because Ascend is still trying to work it out. So, you know, Ardis versus CNED, two very good players, but sort of fitting into different styles.
If we're talking about player versus, we have one ready for it again. It's Monster and Suigetsu. What's the comparison that we're looking at here?
God, they both played lights out, to be honest.
Yeah, they're both cracked. For Monster, it's another time that he's faced up against FPX and had an astounding ACS despite being on the losing side. He has the highest ACS in the server and he's on the losing side. So he gets to, like we kind of said, like coming into his own, finding so many kills that just make FPX's life easier on an entry and stuff. And I think we saw the round where Ascend were attacking, they were trying to sneak onto the B site a little bit, but Soigetsu's watching at angle, gets 2 kills. If he sort of fluffs up there, I think we're done and dusted in the series 2-0. Like he is, you can rely on him when it gets dicey, and then he continues to improve as the series goes on.
Yeah, I love those two players. Again, I think Sugetsu is world class. Like if we do see him in the international stage, I cannot wait for people to look at him and go, that's a world class player. And I can't believe we haven't seen more of him. He's just so underrated because of the role he plays, because there are other stars in the team. It happens with players a lot. They get overshadowed. So if he does get to the international stage, that's his opportunity.
But now, a reminder that you only have one shot. It's one more map for the series, and the winner of that moves on for a shot at the singular left spot here in EMEA. Breeze is our decider, and we talked about FPX's ability to reset after Haven, an abysmal Haven, into a clear win on Icebox. How do things shape up for Breeze?
You're looking at Soigetsu again, 35 kills in a normal, this is a term for it, but no overtime kind of game. When it came to
Regular
13-9, yeah, regular like time game, 35 kills still in it in a 13-9 win for Soigetsu.
Yeah.
Like unbelievable kind of performance. But like I said, Monster sort of matched it to an extent. The question mark is the Euro.
Yes.
Whether we see FPX bring that out again like they did the last time they faced up against Ascend, or whether they try and do something more straightforward, because Icebox was more straightforward and that seemed to work out fine.
I mean, it was dicey. It wasn't clear-cut, but it did seem to work out way better than the Euro. Way better than the Euro. I think we can all agree with that. But you're right. This is the only map that is an exact rematch from both of these teams. Of course, we spoke about them having 3 maps. Only one of them, Breeze, the decider, now being that sort of rematch that they get to have. Ascend scrapped together 9 rounds. It was a very heavy attacking-sided Breeze. People are probably not surprised to hear that. But as a result, it means that there is leeway for them to counter because they know what to expect. Even with a Yoru gone, you bring in something a little bit more default. I still think it's very easy to counter. And guess who are the kings of countering? FPX. So I'm just saying it's a known quantity. You've got all this information. You got the VOD very recently. If I was to put money on statistically who should win based off of that fact alone, it should be FPX.
I am a little bit concerned that they've had 3 days of games playing all 3 best of 3, like all 3 maps. 9 maps in 3 days is pretty ridiculous. It's going to be knackering, but now's a chance to sort of get in order. And I sort of agree with you that, yes, you've sort of seen a bit more of Ascend, what they like to do, what they found success in. They just can't beat Mech from yesterday. It's that kind of aspect of it. I think FPX are going to go, we know what they're going to play. They don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah. I'm not going to give the players a leeway in the maps just because as a coach, I know how many maps are usually scrimmed by a team in a normal work day. And if they're, tired by that amount of maps, they probably don't prac enough to begin with. It is stressful playing officials. Don't get me wrong, it is absolutely stressful playing officials. But when it comes to complexity of maps and how much players work in a day, trust me, they do a lot of maps a day. So they should stamina-wise be okay with it. But this would be like the final day, like physicality-wise, that they would really be pushing it.
Now we have a few extra moments here because Agent Select is delayed for a bit, but don't worry about it. We'll be into it in just a bit. Ryan, if we're looking at this now, Ascend failed to close map 2. You look at map 1, you look at how Haven went down, and you're thinking Ascend should have this in the bag. How can they bring him back on Breeze?
I think it's trying to sort of figure out the fact that, like, okay, we made it close against Mech. There were a lot of areas that we sort of struggled, like Starkzo fighting in mid. He was going up against Chronicle, losing a lot of those engagements. Maybe you change up something, moving away from the Neon to something more straightforward. But I do think that this isn't a case of changing up your comp too much from Ascend. Like, you know that what you do works, and you have an idea of, like, how FPX want to treat the map. It's just a different order, right? I think it's going to be really tough for Ascend. It comes down to whether the players can bounce off of each other, what the agents are going to be. And I also think Vac as well. He made a gamble of playing Fade on this map, which has a lot more to it. So it's whether we can see that bear fruit a bit more, because I don't necessarily think it did up against FPX last time.
Also, I feel like there's been enough time, and time is obviously, comparative there, but enough time for Stark. So, for example, on the Neon, on this particular map, does he come into more form now that he identifies? Like, if you do a quick VOD review and you go, I didn't rotate very well, I didn't use the utility very well, I didn't capitalize on the strengths of Neon, is this something I can work on? I reckon in a few hours, that's something you can identify as a player quite quickly. So that's a quick little addition to give him more win conditions individually on Neon. So for me, I think there's a couple of players statistically I'm looking at on my notes here who didn't do so well last time, but that would, if they were to pick up those agents, have an opportunity to come in and do a little better.
Yeah, FPX's attacking side's been good. I think the thing for Ascend that has made them look good is their intuition is on point. I don't necessarily think it's like a macro call overall. It's why they struggled on Icebox, really. It's just the big picture stuff. It's in the moment, we can all make this decision. We're all on the same page. We're all communicating what we want to do, and that's where they find success. It's going to be hard on Breeze. If you're playing a Neon, you want to up the pace, but it's a big map, and FPX have seen what happens when you slow the pace down. They come out on top.
Well, it seems like we are about to load in here for Agent Select, and you're talking about Neon, you're talking about the Fade. What do we expect here composition-wise before it actually shows up, Chad?
I mean, Chamber, Fade, if Vac does stick it Stark, so as we referenced, Zeke on the Sky played really well right behind who else other than the Viper main, a monster, and he was rather an MVP for them last map as well. So come into this one, he loves it, it's his playground. Don't expect much change here, but it's the side of FPX. We got to see Xiao again fading off that fade, yes, pun intended, moving away from it. And yeah, we're just going to stick it here. Zeke back on it. Vac is going to stick that fade that you postulated before. No. Oh my God, no.
Fade the Yoru again.
It wasn't awful for him individually statistically, but it wasn't amazing.
They had some really good executes on taking mid control with the TPs and how they're getting onto the sites for executing as they're attacking first. But they should only work once before Ascend have a read of them. So if Ascend have been watching those VODs, they go, okay, we know what they want to do. So it's like anti-strats on top of anti-strats, which kind of leans into FPX's sort of boathouse. But if they lose and go out and get eliminated here, it's off the back of playing Yoru again, right? So it's such a risk. And Ascend should be on top of here, but it really is hard to gauge. FPX just might have something extra that they want to show.
Oh, the risk. It's huge risk, high reward, all of this business, all of those phrases. I tell you what, either we have Lothar sitting at home right now and he is clapping to his full delight at the end of this map, or we all hang our head in shame about yet another Yoru failure here in EMEA, and the solo man to carry the mantle for Yoru right now is Angel. So give us something.
Let's pray for him and see how it goes. Stakes are high. Less talking, more doing. Might not be Fracture, but we are on to Breeze. It's do or die for both Ascend and FPX. All you have to do is win this map and you keep in contention for Masters Copenhagen. Who wins it out? We got X-Warrior and Zesh for you. Enjoy.
It really is do or die, Milosh. It really is. It's squeaky bum time if I've ever seen it, and it's the third and final map of this series. If both teams win their opponents' map picks, it's time for a decider to show us who's boss.
What do you do against a good old Yoru on this wonderful map that's going to decide if you're out or staying in? I mean, they've done this in the past, right? They've already met exactly the same, except the change of once more, no Fate instead of Soba. So that's the thing, right? They have made the decision to be like, Xiao, we want you back on the Soba. Interesting to see what that decision is like considering that, but let's leave that aside, right? Not what we have to see. I have to agree with one thing there with Ryan. The executes FPX was running, there was utility on top of utility, on top of utility, on top of utility. And that was wonderful to watch. But as he also said, good old Ryan is always right. Who's anti-stratting who and how much?
It's a big question. A lot of the time, Una reverse cards thrown back at you. But it's time for the final map of this series. Ascend versus FPX, the one which could determine, the one which will determine who will pay for a chance to contend for Masters, or who will be going home today. Snakebite right at the feet of the attacking side. FPX trying to get onto this A site, but Ascend quickly responding to the back end. Spike getting planted, but it's still Zipan to open things up. Artis as well. It's 2 kills for FPX, none for Ascend.
Yeah, I'm not a first hit at all, and that makes it quite problematic in my eyes right now. Zipan is going to be eliminated. That's at least something. A Monster tried to push through Tube, made that work, and suddenly we're in a 3 versus 3. They're not close to the site, but it's equal at this point in time.
Ooh, timing for Monster didn't quite work out. Shao getting the better end of it, which means FPX now are on top of numbers and are also taking a lot of positions off of this site. So Getsu catching both of God. Now that's the guy you want to start things off of very strongly here for FPX 1-0.
And if they change out the pistol immediately from taking the mid control to directly going for a mid to B setup, and you saw ACEND was somewhat ready with that, with the snake bite that was landing, but it still wasn't enough. It simply wasn't enough, and they've gotten the side control. And so we are left with a 1-0 for ACEND. Pardon, 1-0 for FPX. Pardon me. What was I thinking?
Yeah, living in a different universe.
I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking. And either way, no, it's going to be quite exciting because once more, let's recap because we don't often see a Euro, Pablos, right?
Yes.
It was a lot of chamber on elbow work. It was a lot of fade on B main, and they were running executes quite swiftly in Byron. So it was like we're executing, boom. And you know, a Euro can be confusing because you don't see it very often. But I mean, a lot of pro teams by now have adapted to it. A few are playing it, not too many.
I mean, one of the key sort of teams that have adapted to it was on Icebox versus Fnatic yesterday, right?
Yeah, but Fnatic is for me a different beast. Fnatic is an absolute machine at this point. And ACEND still need to find themselves, right? This is the first time we see VAC IGL in VCT. This is Monster, first time in VCT. There's a lot of pressure situations. Monster is going to be the first one falling, just talking about him. But CNET has something to say as always.
And he gets out of there as well. Doesn't really take too much damage out of it. VAC as well, chiming in. Speaking of the devil, keeping things square a bit. But of course, the heavy dedication in mid with the longer ranged weaponry for the FPX side will favor them, therefore happy to stick around there. But look at Stark, so if they go towards
30
him,
seconds left.
it could at least be a trade at this point.
He has
And it
the perfect
seems they
weapon.
may. Oh, this is perfect!
Take this. Go, go, go.
And we'll be able to get away.
Smart.
Oh, he gets
Smart.
away. So smart. Goes in for some more damage. Shao just softened up a little bit, but let's see what the rest of them can do. Seen it from the back end. It might be perfect. Oh no! Misses the shot. Again, a guiding light. Oh, it's uncomfortable. Oh, they end up falling all across the board. It's Shao to get the final kill. It's FPX to go 2-0.
At the one time you do not see CNET being ice cold in a round that could have turned it in favor of ACEND. Ridiculous, but I mean, it was still quiet, hefty, quiet, expensive on the FUNPLUS Phoenix side. So it's the power up. It is the point in time where ACEND go for the full buy. And with the Fate holding B together with Neon, it is not something FPX is looking for. Their eyes are peeled towards the side of A, as you see right here. And obviously, Angel, we always look at the Euro, very keen to take the mid control. Or fake it out, pardon me.
Fake it out.
No, he doesn't fake it out.
Take it.
You never know with this Euro.
You never know. And neither do ACEND.
I mean, yeah, you're right. And, Artists are going to be on this way up. I mean, Tube is such a pivotal point. But first of all, the fight doesn't go in the
that's
favor.
uncomfortable.
That's a very unusual one for CNET, isn't it?
And for the fact that he had a Phantom and he was up against a Sheriff. It's a free rifle gathered. Starkso looking to move in. He's got reinforcements for good reason, but they need to check it in time. They need to realize that there's a wraparound happening now towards this A site. And I think they're just a little bit too late to the party. Oh, dear. Well, that gets it done, which means they've stabilized. But now they know that the A site is about to begin. Monster realizes that is a decoy still. Has to sustain the position. Zeke in trouble, ends up falling, which means Monster is the only defender here. Won't be able to recover his position in time. Artist takes him out of the equation, and that's FPX on top with the numbers and with site control.
From the HP perspective, Zippin doesn't survive very long, but he still has too many mates surviving and making this work. So considering to even save this would be an opportunity, but not happening.
No, Starks are looking to move in here.
And look on bridge.
Slowly but surely, Angel as well, behind.
Oh, hello?
Okay, well, at least Artist gets it done. Max position completely telegraphed. Artist with a quadra. FPX on 3, ACEND with no.
And this is very interesting, because FPX is not that execute heavy as we've seen previous in the last time around. So, it's making it kind of exciting. It really is. Oh boy. 3-0 for FPX. The money is growing, their bank accounts filling up, their wallet's getting thicker and thicker, and here it comes. Clear indicator of a B execute, clear indicator, and we're gonna see that Euro is making it towards backside very early on with the executes they do, so Let's see what they have up. Nothing. Actually, easy as that.
Yeah, CNED won't be getting anything out of it as well, so FPX actually carrying on the momentum of the previous map.
Yeah, there it goes. Towards half wall. He's teleporting. Or making a fake.
Yeah, that's a fake. But Artis is still there anyway, so it doesn't even matter. 3 kills for Artis. They're just adding it up right now. Zeke, all that remains, but he's just waiting for the inevitable, really. He's definitely going to die at this point. No way they gift him his life, especially at such a close proximity. Looking for a head, unable to find it. Artis, 2 rounds, 4 kills on both of them. And 4 rounds on the board as well.
You saying? And so, ACEND just finally have to get a round on the board. With the bye coming up next, it's going to be kind of interesting to see what they do. For example, will they contest middle a lot more? Because we've seen in the previous few rounds where there was not such a discrepancy of bye, that middle is a room that Angel likes to take a lot with the Euro abilities he has. So it could be an opportunity that he changes that up. And there you see it, right? ACEND directly taking mid control, denying that. But back is... Whoa!
That's a brawler.
So important.
Yeah, the timing's so rough for Angel there. But it's an important opener for ACEND. And CNED once again takes full control over mid. They're not relenting. Unrelentless, really, because look how Zeke is moving in as well, not letting go of this position, but he's all by himself, which means there's no trade game here for them, and an opportunity for FPX to turn it around.
What an unusual whiff by him, but look at it, they're taking a big aggression.
The stun! He stunned himself! Which means he can't push in so aggressively. Zipan to the other side of the corner.
What?
He gets both! The stars align! And Shower chimes in as well!
What are the odds? This guy, I cannot believe what I've just witnessed. He's spraying, and the one was surely not intended. But from bad luck to unfortunate events, Monster can be the only one turning this around. 2 more players survive in 30 and 72 points of health, make it 102 overall. Possibility is there, Pavlos, but he has to run. He has to find everything. He has to make it all work. It's a miracle if Monster performs that one. Because you see right there, Zippin is playing close to door, can't play it over bridge. It's not necessarily planted for him, but he still has the fragment.
Monster. All down to you. This seemed to be ACEND's round with 2 picks at the start. But the time is ticking.
Xiao has his ult as well, so
Xiao
it's
is
done.
wrapped around as well. Monster, you've got no chance here. You're a dead man walking. And Xiao will make sure a bullet at the back of the skull was the way you fall. 5-0 for FPX. This round must be heartbreaking for ACEND.
Listen, watch it. Just watch it. No, yeah, I mean, this is good as well. It's a very good still, but no, ain't happening. All right. The matter of fact, because you saw them pushing out B main and they were doing everything right. Starkster was walling up, so he can't be seen throughout the other side spot. All right. Great job. He was stunning into the stairs off the window. Awesome. Really, Starkster. Everything right. Here we go. Here we go. And then...
I don't think he even meant to kill back there.
How often is this like as likely as a double rainbow? Or Haas winning a race?
Yeah, that's not likely.
Nah, right. That's what I basically said. So... It's wonderful stuff from FPX, really, because you saw it right there. ACEND was taking an aggressive stance at the beginning of the rounds towards mid and be like, okay, see you later, Angel. And then that was what I was looking for. Don't respect them in mid.
This has got really... This must hurt so much for ACEND.
I mean, particularly after winning it by 2 rounds in Icebox. They could have already been, like, sleeping.
They could be looking forward to their next match.
Or that, alternatively.
Both. I mean, right now, FPX seem to be holding all of the cards, and ACEND drawing close to dead.
Yep.
Still a long way to go, though. Still the first 5 rounds, and Vax start things off strong. Still traded through, and quickly changing the tide of things as we get to an Angel, get themselves a hand on their opponents, is bringing Zipan back to life. And the rest will just be history. CNED, door to 4, something found at least, getting their way out of there.
Oh.
Have they read this play correctly?
Yeah, they have. They realize they are not directly entering site, so something is off.
Oh, he
Start,
needed that
so
kill.
He would have his ult, technically.
Care behind him. Artis is there. But who's reading on who? Artis! What a flick!
Who else, FUNPLUS?
And now surely you must expect that the rotation has commenced for CNED. Angel moving in. At least he can deny the spike plant coming in from doors. You can't miss that, CNED.
It's him.
Second time's a charm, but he's got one bullet and he's up against two. One of them has to be a pistol kill. Unless he's able to close up the gap and find himself a rifle.
One bullet, by the way. And look at that. He needs to find that one.
He will not.
He will not.
6-0 for FPX. We wouldn't expect much from ACEND with their buy capabilities that round, but it's starting to really hurt. The pressure is really mounting.
It gives me Haven vibes. It gives me the Haven vibes. Just reverse teams, you know? Where absolute confidence and absolute strength is being witnessed.
Where did that ACEND go?
I mean, it is easy to say, hold on, why are they not that good anymore? But obviously, FPX... I can tell you actually what it is. FPX could not prepare for Haven. They couldn't prepare a single bit. And on the other two, they could. So, as easy as that. But here it comes, disrespecting the control you want to take, Starksa with the entry. That could finally be that glimpse of hope. And as ACEND have mid control, have elbow control, have now with the Seeker B control, they don't know necessarily about Zippin. It looks like a very possible round to me, FUNPLUS.
It's a good start.
Oh, absolutely.
Although we've seen them with a two-man advantage and still falling flat. Cannot exclude FPX at all right now. Stark, sorry.
It's so weird.
Thankfully for him, no, is that okay? I've let the right clone pass me.
And so much information, but look the long way that the Seekers take. So Angel has his ult.
Okay, well, he's moving up into mid. Look how far deep he's heading into it. And spending a TP towards the B side, that's interesting. Angel, they're going to be wary of this position. They know he's there, but the pressure he's putting onto ACEND right now is massive.
And how many players are putting attention towards him? Vac knows how close he is, spotted, and cannot find the kill. That's B-side control.
Crucial. And now FPX seem to be back online. Not only that, but in control. Looking to move in here. Starksa with the right opportunity. Should we get too left behind to close out the rotations? ACEND seem lost. They're even trying to shut down so we get to before it's too late. So we get to stand up, but still alive. Finding cover. CNED struggling to find the kill. Starksa finally kills him, but look at the time he's brought Zeke on and off angle, looking for reinforcements, but the rest of his team were on a mission to shut down the player in mid, and now are late to find their way onto the site, meaning that Zeke is now dead. And they've realized there's no more time to recover the positions of FPX and kill them. They're going to have to hand this over, put their hands up and wave a white flag. This round is over for ACEND, and it's a 7th for FPX.
Listen, ACEND once more got an entry in the round, seemed to have the right control, a Viper ult in front of A. Man, it was looking possible. And FPX really play this by the book. Angel's ult had so much impact, so much information, the teleport on site in combination with the Sova. I more and more understand why they like the combination of Sova at this point. It feels so smooth. The layers they have are ridiculous and remarkable. And one thing that also stands out to me, FPX is way less execute heavy than they've been in the previous game. I said it a few rounds ago as well, but now it becomes more and more present.
Take flight.
It seems ACEND may wanted to go a little bit aggressive over into K, but that won't be happening. Instead, they'll be greeted by firepower towards mid. Angel quickly finding the kill to Stark, so Monster also has to fall. This is looking one-sided for FPX, but Zeke looking to stop it. At least he'll try. Seen it there to assist, but look at the wraparound now towards mid. Full deep mid control for them. There's only one defender. That's the B main player. Vac has got to do it all by himself, and unfortunately for the ACEND side, there's Angel trying to hold off these rotations, looking to move in. But Vac, can he hold it back in time? He's got the judge.
Oh, his teammate's distraction.
Oh, Zeke is there, but no, Shao gets the kill. And now he's just too far off from the judge to have any impact.
And he draws him away. He draws him away. And CNED needs to find the kill.
And so he gets so deep into spawn. CNED, no way you expect that.
The matter of fact that Vax seemed to have the spike delivered on a silver platter, but a shot from Zeke drawing the attention away. It's a butterfly effect to a certain extent. 8-0 for FPX. It's an absolute slaughter that we are witnessing. And there you witness it again. What looked like a quite instantaneous play at the beginning of the game turned out to be a casual default that was turned around to be wherever you want to be. First, it looked like B, made the decision again, going towards A. The game plan from FPX is working magnificently, and ACEND have no antidote to this. Not at all. One of the few times you might see a fast execute, and it's funny, FPX is really playing it safe in the enemy's economies / force buys with full-on executes. Always when the enemy has a force, always full-on execute.
There's a hero vandal play for ACEND as well, sort of relying on Vac to do a lot of work here. Monster, one quick kill goes his way, but quickly traded. You want a hell more than that. CNED, though, might be able to bring it back home. As I said, there is a vandal into the hands of Vac, so not all too impossible, but they need to come in quickly, overwhelm them with numbers. Haunt coming its way through. Angel no longer having the ability to heal, but there's still a player on site. That's Shao that has all options alive. Overdrop from Starkshire, and they can get Angel getting a double kill. Turnaround is there. Zeke without a chance. Vac neither. FPX not dropping a single round so far in Breeze.
They have not lost a player in the afterplant. With the opponents using such ults. ACEND seemed to be emotionally broken. Like really, the motivation lacking, and the worst part is, Pavlos, there is no more timeout. ACEND would be eliminated at this point. ACEND would be a team that has not attended a single offline event this year after winning champions.
After being the best goddamn team in the world.
Sure, they've done roster changes, and that is obviously something that needs its time. Don't get me wrong, you need to respect them for that. FPX is a unit that stands together for such a long time.
With an org with such a history,
yeah,
with a core,
the best IGL, one of the best IGLs in the world.
Ceiling. This has got to be heartbreaking. Poison Cloud doesn't reach the trademark either, gives away the position, but they still run away with a kill. Sugetsu turns his attention towards it. Angel as well. Okay, it's getting a little bit awkward here, but they're still stabilized to a 3-on-3 Stark, so just showed his position. He could have been such a massive caveat. They know where Artis is, which means they can play around it. The only unknown is Shao right now.
They have won those rounds, though, without any issue.
This should be an ACEND win.
Yeah. But how often did we say that?
FPX, oh, you can't count them out. They've been able to move into the B site, and there's no way of ACEND knowing. It's going to be a post-plant scenario for them.
Now they know.
Well, definitely, but it's too late, right?
30 seconds left.
The dark...
Trying to see if the entirety of the site is open, but here comes the spike. It goes down. We're looking at tier 3 with Artis having a very, very aggressive position over towards spawn. He needs to catch his attention towards Zeke, but Zeke reads it first, and Artis falls. Had his knife out at the wrong time. Shower with all to do.
And he can. He's usually so calm and collected.
How can he find them one by one? The stun is perfect. There's nothing you could do there.
Finally.
Starkster just quickly, smoothly slides in. And as you say it, finally, ACEND find a round in this game.
It was about damn time for them. It was really about damn time for them. And you see it right there, the contest in middle finally got them what they wanted. A 9-3 is something you can work with. Is it ideal? No, obviously not, but it's better than nothing. And you have to see it like this. This is a long history of ACEND beating FPX. I mean, sure, in the recent times, the last one we had was just a few days ago on the 5th week, but outside of an early 2021 performance, FPX have never taken down ACEND. Not once. Not once. And one thing we have to highlight, though, is that this is the way stronger side of FPX, right? The last time around, it was a 9-3 as well. So let's see what ACEND can do to slam those brakes.
Ooh, Monster. That's a double.
There you go.
There you go. That's something. So he gets able to trade it back a little bit, but still the damage has been done, right? We're talking about a 2-on-4. ACEND wouldn't mind to close up this gap a little bit. 9-3, at least have the cursed narrative going for them, but still such a mountain to climb. But at least they can gain some confidence towards the latter stage of this half.
And it was a really good read by ACEND to take aggressive two control, because this is something FPX has been taking time and time again. Smart move by Monster. And it should be impossible at this point.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, sure, right? I mean, they can dare. From an economic perspective, they can dare. So they'll take the risk.
Of course. Seen it, though. Been absent this game.
Charlton Eddington.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, he's not going to miss that shot.
No. Too easy for him.
He saw him as well, so they know exactly where he's coming from. Oh,
hold on.
Okay,
Hold on.
All of a sudden,
Look
this is
where they
doable.
are.
From a 1-4 to 1-2, the spike can go down.
It's not you cannot tell me that he can do that.
Can he get away? Can he isolate them? Shao, if he picks him off, they're waiting to move in together.
Oh,
That
God.
could be ahead.
One
And
more.
it is. Draw it down in 1-on-1, but unable to get back into safety. Vak is able to retrieve it, but damn, that was close.
Who else than Xiao? Who else than Xiao? He has been proven to be so good under the leadership of Angel, taking the IGL role temporarily as well. And he is a pillar of the strength of FPX. And if this would become a 3-9 half, we would have a big deja vu, I can tell you that. It would be exactly the same as the game that happened 9 days ago. So FPX taking a timeout to really make sure, that they're winning this. Because the last 2 rounds by ACEND, one was won by, an artist having his knife out and suddenly a 1v3. The other one was won by Monster doing a great decision by taking a bit more of an aggressive stance towards Tube. And so it goes. I would really love to hear what ACEND is about to talk about, but leave that one aside. When we take a look on the minimap, the interesting part, though, will be, Pavlos, if FPX directly dares to do one of their B-side executes again, because this is what they're positioned for. They're putting a few dots down on the minimap in their spawn. Could this be an ACEND rotation they're anticipating?
I don't know, man. I think the only thing that I can gather from this is that the fact that FPX's willingness to go for a timeout already is a testament to how willing they are to give it their all.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Not giving their all, but the seriousness of closing this one out as quickly as possible. No nonsense.
And this is a statement of intent. Angel is a craftsman who cannot blame his tools at this point anymore.
Isolate and
And his tools are sharp. Man, they're working really well today. But there you have it. B-side execute.
Viper's Pit, utilized very early. But they may be finding an entry from elsewhere.
Is
Seen
he
it, open things up.
outmoving
Oh,
them?
this is down. He's onto the site. Faking out towards the Viper's Pit. That can allow a flash. That could be so big. That could allow Zippin to move in, but I think they've realized that as a clone. But Angel is already on the
Smart
site,
from
and Monster
Monster.
is able to find it just in time. Zippin ends up falling as well. Vak with a spray down.
And
Now
that
it's
should
down
be
to
it.
Xiao and Suigetsu, and it seems that ACEND have got full control unless Suigetsu finds a magical spray down through that Viper's Pit, but I'm afraid
Oh, I mean,
that's just too difficult.
it's Jetsu and Xiao. Like, this is where I'm still kind of scared, but you're right.
If there's any duo to do it, it's these two.
It very much is. And Stark goes out, but we'd have to talk about time. 45 seconds, 2 players hiding in the ult.
Step in the right direction.
It's not. This has to be a fairy tale for FPX if they make it into double digit.
last player.
Nah, never mind. Never mind.
Monster. Okay, he's
Perfect.
on point this round.
Yeah,
he's
perfect
on
decision.
point this round. 9-3. ACEND at least get 3
Switching
in
sides.
succession to end off this half.
And let me tell you a story, right? I hope you're down for that. ACEND, even though this was the same scoreline the last time around, he made it at least a 9-13. FPX was struggling big time on defense, like big time. So let's see what they have for us, because their defense was really not ruling much space. That was one thing. They were not doing that too much. Further on, if we talk about their defense, they had good mid-round TPs. That was nice from Angel. Such things are good, but they were not really taking any initiative. So let's see if that changed, because FPX are looking sharp as ever. Same pistol round. I think this is the same pistol round they played before.
Does look like it.
Yep.
Just moving in. Looking to slide by. Let's see if they can close up this gap and make the curse of 9-3 come alive. So he gets into the back end here. He sees some movement, gives the call to Zipan to move up a little bit closer. Quickly shredded. Seen it finding himself onto the scoreboard. Zipan struggling to find a shot there. That's troubling. FPX though on top right now. All they have to do is do the trade game, and it seems they're able to do that. Monster, all that remains, and they know exactly where he is. That could have been dangerous, but it's not. Angel recovers. FPX on double digits. Exactly what they wanted to close out this game. The silence right there, Zesh. That is ACEND.
Yep, it very much is. Man, ACEND was fighting and showing what they're capable of doing on map 1. Icebox, so close, so tight. Really, on the edge of it. And here's the thing. Zeke, after beating FPX, said in an interview, we're not even close to the form we were. And he himself said, I'm not even as close, as good as I was during Champions. But here it comes. Entry garnered. Artist takes out Monster. One after another falls. The 11-3 is absolutely about to come.
It feels like it's really the beginning of the end here.
Yeah.
And a grand opportunity
Have the spike.
for FPX, FunPlus Phoenix, to be greeting Mech, the lower bracket round 2,
This would be a
for a
wonderful game.
fight to make it into Masters.
It would be a wonderful game. It would be a wonderful game if we see that. But ACEND still can fight. They're more than capable of doing so.
We thought this was a one-sided show for ACEND, the first map on Haven.
Absolutely.
Then something changed. It looked close on the second, but this is something completely different.
And man, ACEND was fighting this season so hard. I mean, they outside of OG London United, they always dropped a map against FPX, against G2, against Focus. Fine, whatever. But they were constantly evolving, they were fighting, they were getting better. And FPX, in the meantime, for a moment, when they lost against ACEND during the group stage, I was like, okay, this could be iffy. Are they down in a downward spiral? But here we go. Dark Soap, a very aggressive stance top middle, and that is a legit power-up, that entry. But instantly traded.
Indeed, indeed. I think
here comes
FPX
the
are happy
TP.
about it. And then CNED finds a wallbang. Okay, that's interesting. 3-on-3 though. So he gets to look to close up this gap. Oh, and he might be able to find more.
Spike down B.
Silent but violent.
Absolutely. It fits perfect. The description fits perfectly. And they make one move swiftly towards the B side. There are not many options left for ACEND, so let's take the room we have.
This is FPX. They're going to find themselves on map and series point, and that's exactly what they do. CNED to his grave, and so the rest of ACEND. This round could determine it all.
Gun here.
9 rounds of difference, but only one to differentiate FPX from outright victory.
And ACEND take their final timeout. Their final timeout. The last chance to talk about how you want to survive another 9 rounds. I mean, that already sounds surreal, doesn't it?
It sounds like a situation they should have never been in the first place, but it's too late to look back now. And you need answers, and you're just not getting them.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was so much promise on that first map, man.
Oh,
I'm just remembering Haven all over again. CNED's performance, Monster's positions. Zeke coming up clutch a couple of times.
I mean, not only that. At one point, we talked about a 9-5 half on Icebox. There was like the big opportunity.
Yeah, 8-4 half.
And they lost 5 in a row on Icebox, bring themselves over Breeze. 9 in a row from FPX. And ACEND getting eliminated like that would be... I think dramatic is possibly a word.
I think FPX have just broken Ascend.
They are doing everything right. They're doing so many good moves and good steps in the right direction. And Zippin with that aggression wants to end it. Finds one, but CNET has a reply.
Angel aggresses so far in, really gives Ascend no chance to bring out their own play here. They're the ones that are dictating the pace, and they're on the defensive. Somehow runs away with a kill, which keeps them on top in numbers. Artist repositions it. There's no way they read this Prowler. That's all important. Not able to find the kill, which means Vat keeps his team in the game. This is still doable for Ascend, at least this round.
They have to keep that dream alive for 9 more times. 9 more, and then they even have to step it over in overtime.
But still, they need to close out this round.
Oh, yeah. And that's not
even
easy.
there yet. No. Especially when Shower's got this strong position. Seized in place.
Oh, that's good.
Decayed. Oh, CNET connects the shot.
What?
Oh!
What?
How
What?
does that
What
even
happened?
happen?
Defenders win.
FPX 13-3. Magnificently dominant. Take down Ascend and knock them out of VCT EMEA. FPX are here to stay, and they're going to be fighting against Mech next week for a spot in Masters.
This was one of the most anticlimactic finishes I've ever seen in this game. I'll be honest with you.
I can't.
I mean, what are you about to say? That was a 13-3 win. And this round where we all had the dream stays alive situation, it looked like, okay, this is possible. This is done. But it isn't. And it's all gone. It is all gone, FUNPLUS. I have no words to what just happened there.
That is crazy. Player of the match, though, we need to go and give that call out, but head over to the Twitter to get your votes in. It could either be Zipan Suigetsu or Shower, but goodness me, I don't know, man. Like, it just seemed like FPX showing up all over the place. Angel, perfect calls from him all across the board. Zesh, if you could give it to one, who would it be?
I would give it to Doombros, but at this point in time, I think for the sake, in the spirit of Kakuka, I'll give it to Shao.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I just really want to unravel this game in my brain right now, because looking at Ascend, it looked like it was all working out for them, but suddenly FPX were finding all the answers and looked like a completely different beast. It seemed like they brought out a caveat that Ascend really didn't have any answers to. So Zesh, could you wrap up this series with just a sentence, perhaps, with just a couple of sentences?
I think it was one of the biggest roller coasters. The first game looked remarkable, and I think to be very honest with you, if I have to pretty much tell you what my facial expression is like, it's like this. I can't believe it. I absolutely can't believe it. So
it's incredible.
Wow,
Well,
they're out.
Yeah. Well, those are our reactions, everybody, and I'm sure your reactions are very similar. But this is the analyst desk now to show us and kind of give us an explain of what happened, because I think everybody needs a rundown right now. So yeah, Milosh, Jess, Ryan, take it away.
Thanks so very much, friends. And yeah, we can't believe it either. They did him dirty. They reversed it on Breeze. The same thing that ascended to FPX on map 1 Haven was done to them to close out the series. Ryan, hell of a day.
Hell of a day. It's been a hell of a weekend so far overall. And even like if you got to last week, full best of 3 up against Ascend in that way. And it's weird because you look at the last map, the fact that we went to Breeze, the map that FPX won in that series, the option was there for Ascend to go to Split.
Yes.
We chose to go to Breeze. Maybe wasn't expecting FPX to run something similar. But if there's anything that we learn is that Euro on this map has legs, I think. It's not only the way that you're using this utility, but the way that you can like prop and pull and how much control FPX had around mid calls in the map, for example.
And it's little things like being unsure. That aura of uncertainty that Yoru gave to the side of Ascend made them second guess themselves. How many times did we look on Icebox, for example, or Haven is probably even a better example of that defensive aggression from Ascend. They couldn't overstep the mark because they didn't know if they were going beyond the limits upon which we had FPX throwing at them. So they said, okay, we've got to be a little bit more passive. We've got to play it a little bit more like this. We got into the second half, and I thought, okay, attacking side here. Both of them last time were heavily attacking sided. We'll see a little bit of kickoff here from Ascend. And you know what FPX did? Ran circles around them and said, we don't care if you're the one with the neon. We have need for speed. And just Ferrari peeked them at every corner.
I think it was FPX really just trying to cook Ascend. Similar to sort of Icebox and go from there overall, yeah.
God, what a map. And what this man on your screen right now, Sugetsu, for example, unreal. I think he has just done a fantastic job at being able to leverage his sneakiness. It gives me Nats vibes, but not in the exact same way that he kind of has. I'm going to start calling it the Sugetsu poke and prod, where he pokes and prods around the map. Yeah, I'm loving that. I think that's definitely something he's done well.
Yeah. It's just also like control of it. Like ACEND, we kind of knew that because they're still like adjusting to their team that it was going to be rough. But I think FPX got 2 maps where they can slow the pace down and have players push into them, which worked tremendously well for ACEND on Haven. But these other maps, FPX were a bit more prepped and they looked very good at just shutting down that early aggression.
And let's see what Ryan's rounds can tell us about the rollouts.
Yeah, not going to teleport across this time. I think we sort of saw something similar on Icebox when we looked at some of the stuff that we were highlighting on the Euro Dare for FPX, and it's a similar sort of thing. So we'll play it out because we can kind of go through this very quickly, but pay attention to where Angel starts off this round and how long it takes. 50 seconds on the clock. Where is he going to go? How's this going to work? He's already put his fake out all the way through here. It's been watched, and you can just watch ACEND's movement around the map. Here, I love this play. I love the fact that the dimensional drift is actually basically sent itself straight at CNED. He's forced to teleport because he doesn't know what's going to happen. And at this point, the Euro actually comes in, tries to push all the way into mid, and puts his TP over towards that B site. So that's going to keep crawling on through. These steps are all heard. The flash is even going to come through. So FPX now taking a lot of map control. Whilst this is all orchestrated by Angel, the rest of the team is here perfectly. The fact that that teleport comes in as the recon dart shows up where Vac is perfect. The fact that it starts off in like A lobby and moves all the way to the B site within what, like 20, 30 seconds overall? It's that kind of like whiplash that they were giving ACEND on control of the map. And we know how high they are when it comes to like calling. Like it's very quick, it's very purposeful. But if it's chaotic, that's why Fnatic did so well yesterday. They just chilled it out, whereas ACEND cooked themselves, I think.
I mean, that's the very thing I was saying, is how many people had to sit back and watch one little TP, had to work out whether or not was he there. We had to have CNED TP away because he wasn't sure of the dimensional drift, and he'd be flash and they'd go. So for me, it just left so many question marks in the head of ACEND. I think they overthought it. I think Fnatic stayed cool, calm, and collected. You're right, and it doesn't work against a team like that. But against ACEND, there you go.
That was our game then. FPX, congratulations. How about we talk things, chill out at the end of this week with our post show. And we are in and through. Like I said, should be good to have the kind of spike destruction noise.
Yeah, we should have that
to whoosh it into it. But let's talk about all that happened here with our playoffs bracket first. 2 teams have been eliminated today, and that just means no more for Team Liquid fans. For ACEND also, they will not have a shot here in the playoffs. Mech and FPX move through, and one of them will be joining Guild and Fnatic, who are already qualified from the region. Ryan, are you surprised seeing all this?
Not really. I think that like for Liquid and ACEND, I've overall just been impressed by the level of play in this tournament, because EMEA has been very like chaotic, some weird games that teams should not be losing out on. But if anything, we've seen that like Liquid and certainly like ACEND are up there. And for ACEND especially, they're on the right track. It just takes a bit more time and need to keep going. It's a shame that they ran into Mech and FPX for one, because they've been in a lot better form, and really it's just more time is needed for this ACEND squad to really shine, I think.
I mean, it's a hard thing because you say, oh no, the world champions yet again won't go to an international event, but we're talking about roster changes, then people start to compare them to Fnatic, but it's a difference in core, it's a different in support, you're changing different sorts of players in different roles. So for me, the new players have been great. I absolutely won't give them any doubt on that. But the map pool upon which the players have synergized into is not quite having the breadth it needs to just yet, I think.
And to iron that out, we're going to need a second week of playoffs, and that'll ease us into next Friday, where you can come back same time as always. But we got a big fight here. Who gets number 1? Practically gets a big shot at number 1 here in EMEA. That's Guild and Fnatic. The important part for them now is seeding, but for Mech and FPX, they are fighting for a spot in Copenhagen, and they're gonna earn it by winning this matchup. Just to set it up, what do you guys believe will happen here?
I just hope it's another crazy series, like both Mech and FPX just wanting to get back in and get to these international events for one as well. But like I think for Fnatic Guild, that's still an important game. Seeding is incredibly important.
Yes.
We don't know the format of Masters yet, but if you get a bye like last time, it's a lot of points on the board. Pretty much confirm yourself for champions if you're doing well consistently there. Yeah, a lot to play for still.
I mean, imagine having all of those stakes just in front of you and you're like, whoa, I have so much to play for here. It's not over by any means. Plus, it kind of feels nice the same way we said that FPX is stage 1 champions to also then call another team a stage 2 champion as well. So there is so many things I'm calculating in my head. I'm going to sit at home, nice little popcorn out, and I can't wait for those matches.
That's the one we're going to be looking at for week 2. Make sure you're tuning in for playoffs next Friday starting off. But our sister region, North America, is about to begin right after the show is done, and they also have a big fight for survival. Evil Geniuses will be playing against NRG in just a few minutes, so you got just enough time to freshen up and get ready for some more Valorant action right here on the channel. For all the VODs, as always, ValorantEsports.com/VODs. You'll get to see everything that's going on in-game and learn from the best in the world. Until then, that was everything from us here on the desk. So happy to be here with you, Jess and Ryan as well. You guys all take care back at home, and we will see you next Friday